podcast.
Right.
It's a late night here.
It is.
I don't think I've ever been to the office this late. This is great, though.
I'm glad to have the honor of that.
I love it.
Yeah. All right, here we are. Episode of Voice of Electronic Music, episode number 51, with Ryan Roth, a.k.a. Roy Lacroix.
Pleasure to be here, man.
How's it going, dude?
It's going absolutely fantastic. Got a little stomach full of sushi.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling good.
Yeah, that place was incredible. So we just went to, what was it, Kura?
Kura Sushi Bar.
Kura,
yeah.
K-U-R-A.
It's a revolving sushi bar. Delicious, man.
Yeah.
Just fantastic prices, too.
Yeah, cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Very
and
cheap.
Like the kind of sushi boat style, right? Where it revolves and you can also order things.
Yeah.
And just so good. It could have been crap sushi with all those gimmicks.
I know, right? But those sushi chefs, they're like, they're on the ball, man. They're out there and they're just like cranking out sushi left and right.
Yeah. They're born to do it.
Yeah, it's fascinating watching them, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my favorite place now, I think, in LA.
I think it's mine too. Yeah. I've probably been there like 50 times.
Really?
I've only been here for a few years.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite restaurant to go to. That and like I discovered Flame Broiler recently. I don't know if you've ever been to Flame Broiler.
No.
It's a very like over the top healthy sort of I don't know, man. They do it simple. It's like a Chipotle for like health freaks.
Oh yeah.
So it's like brown rice, vegetables, chicken. That's it.
I
That's
love
all
that.
they sell.
I love that.
It's simple, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a point in time where I was thinking about like, yeah, that'd be a cool thing to start, right? Like a kind of fast food place that really only served like, chicken wraps and brown rice, and it sounds like what they make.
Yeah, man. It'd be a great idea. I think actually it'd be really cool to open up like a fast food like paleo restaurant, but don't steal that idea because I don't think anyone's done it yet.
Right.
Oh
shit.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Oh, did we not start recording it?
Yep.
Cool.
There we
So
go.
should we start over?
No, it's fine. That was just the audio, which is a backup anyway.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
Perfect.
so we're good.
Cool. So we're live on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And we're live on our little friend right here.
Mm-hmm. The high quality YouTube one.
There's you and you.
And then that's it.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Hello, world. This is DJ Roy Lacroix, also known as my boring real world name, Ryan Roth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on here, man. This was kind of a little bit of a production. Getting down here, I wanted to line up this podcast with you.
Yeah.
That was kind of the catalyst. We talked about it because you came up to Headroom that we do at Halcyon.
Yeah, yeah.
And I originally reached out to you, or Pioneer, about doing some potential, sponsorship or something.
Yep.
But the numbers aren't quite there, which is completely,
You're doing your thing.
I'm doing, yeah,
You're doing your thing, man.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep it up.
Yeah, and you sent us these amazing headphones,
Yeah.
HRM6s.
HRM6s. Go buy a pair.
Yeah.
They sound so good. And actually, you know what? It's funny. When on your episode with Ryan Michael Robbins, you guys were talking about how amazing the headphones sound.
Right.
And they really do sound good. I've never been on a podcast with these headphones.
Right.
So
You're always just listening to music or something, but hearing your own voice through them, and they're crisp. There's good bass response, but it's not Beats by Dre overhyped, artificial bass.
I actually like the sound of my voice in these.
Right.
It's funny.
These headphones make me not hate myself.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. No, man. Yeah. So I'm glad they're getting a lot of use, and I'm glad they're touring around a little bit, and people are checking them out and seeing what the what other cool things we make,
right?
And the studio line. So we have the three facets: the Pro Audio, Studio, and DJ.
Yeah.
And the studio line is going to be like headphones like this, our Turais line, SP16, AS1, that kind of thing. And so that's kind of the stuff that maybe the world doesn't know about so much. So it's very cool to kind of get that out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I love those lines. I mean, we're sitting here, we're in the Pioneer Studios at Pioneer headquarters, which is amazing, if you couldn't tell. And what the cameras are on is essentially a studio desk, which has a Dave Smith sequential keyboard, the Toriaz 16. What's the other one?
The Squid is our little sequencer.
Yeah.
The Tries SP16 and then tries AS1.
Right.
And then we have a bunch of like outboard gear, and then we have our RMO7s and our RMO5s.
Yep.
You know, our MacBook, mixer, audio interface, you know, Furman.
I didn't know you guys
sort of
made
fun stuff.
I didn't know you guys made studio monitors. But
Oh yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, actually,
Wow.
who helps endorse them a little bit? Tony Maserati uses them in his studio.
Okay.
For some mixing projects. And they sound great.
Yeah.
The RMO7s are my favorite. They have a little better bass response. RMO5s are also really, really good for near field monitoring.
Nice.
I always recommend, you know, a subwoofer as well, though, you know,
Sure.
that kind of situation.
Even with an 8-inch monitor, you still kind of want to.
Yeah.
subwoofer,
Unless you have roommates, then you don't want to piss them off. And then in that case, you want to get a sub pack. Like, that's what I got.
Yes.
Nice
You had a
little
sub pack.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been wanting one of those for years.
Oh,
How does
dude,
it
10 out of 10.
Really?
Highly recommend the sub pack. They're fantastic.
How do your mixes translate as far as using it to?
So you got to be careful because there's a little dial on the arm. You want to make sure it's like at a neutral level, or else like you're mixing and you think the bass is like,
Right.
you know. So you want to make sure that it's like at a neutral level. I think the mixes translate really well because you're able to sort of feel what the crowd would feel. You know, I think they're great.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird thing too with so I have used one maybe once or twice in kind of a demo setting, but I'm familiar with the like what are they rumble packs that they used to sell.
Oh, with an N64?
Well, that too, but they sold them that you could screw it onto the underside of your like sofa or your or your gamer chair or whatever. Those were the original.
I don't think I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it was just a bass shaker.
Yeah.
And so it would shake whatever you were sitting on, and so that was kind of I think where the backpack idea came from.
Oh, dude.
But with the vibrations, you can feel the musical note.
Is this like the 90s? Or when? When was this?
Yeah, it was 90s, kind of early 2000s. You know,
Okay.
I was in college.
Yeah.
And we were kind of, you know, it was maybe a couple years after I'd gotten into like car audio stuff, you know, and just getting into making music.
Yeah.
So of course I never thought to like, oh, let me like make music with this, you know.
Sure.
But people are using them with the sub packs these days.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the rumble packs on the N64 controllers, and it's like, you know, if some of my friends had a rumble pack, it's like, oh, dude, like, what are you, rich? What are you, made of money over here? Like, I don't even have a memory card. Like, you know, you this guy's got a rumble pack. Like, oh my gosh.
Bitch, I know avocados extra. Like,
yeah, I'm just gonna make it rain. I'm gonna buy 4 rumble packs for all my friends. You know, so yeah, that was it's cool. No, but the sub pack's great. Mixing low end is really nice, and you get into those like really deep. Low frequencies, you know, that like you just wouldn't hear in like regular headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And I bring them along with me. I bring the sub pack with me whenever I go like sometime collab at a buddy's house or on my beat retreats or whatever.
Right.
So yeah.
Did you see the shoes with subwoofers that they had at NAMM?
No.
So Beats by Dre put
You're
out
kidding.
shoes. No.
Are they concept or are they real?
I think they're real.
I might need to buy a pair, man. That sounds really amazing.
Yeah. And, you know, they're Bluetooth. So as you're walking or sitting or whatever, you got your headphones, which are Bluetooth, and then the subwoofer shoes are also Bluetooth.
Dude, that's like taking like remember like the moon boots?
Yes.
Or like the you know the trampoline shoes like to the next level. Wow, dude. Okay, I might have to go buy a pair. You know, I'm always in the market for a new fresh pair of kicks.
Right.
But what's the price though? Is like what I'm wondering. Is like $3,000 or something? Like
Probably I would, if I had to guess, probably like $200.
Oh, really?
I would imagine 200. I mean, they're Beats by Dre.
That's reasonable.
One of their headphones are kind of pricey too. They're kind of like they're like the Gucci of headphones.
But are they cool looking shoes?
I just saw them briefly. I didn't actually go to NAMM, so.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I trolled the internet a lot. So
oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, well, you were probably working that weekend, I'm sure.
I
right?
was. Yeah.
Yeah. So, NAMM was nuts.
Yeah.
NAMM was a lot of fun. We premiered the beautiful DJM V10 and 6 channels of all its splendor, yeah, it got a really good response. NAMM was fun. We brought a lot of really cool artists out to perform. Claude Von Stroke did the did the grand unveil of the V10, the first inaugural performance.
I saw that. That was cool
at our booth. Yeah, it was really fun.
Wow, I mean, it's I don't care who you are. Like, it's the features on that thing alone speak for themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of undeniable. You know what I mean? Like, whether you like other brands or what, I mean, it's a beast of a mixer.
Yeah.
And it's got, like, you know, I'm a huge fan of, especially the chunky, you know, the ISO on the master.
I love that, and those are the same knobs from our RMX 1000 actually, which is right there.
That's why they feel familiar.
Yeah. And so that master isolator is great because if you have like 6 things going on at the same time, then you don't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna turn my low end down on each channel really quickly. But no, you can just go, and you're good.
Right.
I think probably my favorite feature on it is, well, it has an internal send effects. The long delay is just sick. So like when you're doing a build up, you know, you can mess with the time, and you know, you can have the time like be really long, and then you can go like do. You can kind of really like bring it up, and gives it this really nice like crescendo effect. You can get creative. You can layer effects. You can have like, you know, you can use the long delay, and then you could put in a what is this, a Strymon, I think.
A Big Sky.
Yeah, the Big Sky.
Yeah.
And then RMX 1000, and then you could do all 3 of those effects at the same time on, bring it back into a separate channel.
Wow.
And
so then have like an effects channel.
Have your own effects channel.
Yeah.
You can have several effects channels if you want.
Because you got 6 channels.
Or you know what? Or you could, if you really wanted to, just use 2 CDJs.
Yeah, right. Which I'm sure will be the use case in a lot of scenarios, right?
Actually, yeah. And it's fun. I mean, I DJ'd on it at NAMM and upstairs in our little pro audio booth, and that was super fun. It was my first time DJing on it though, so it was like a little bit of a learning curve. But it takes, you know, a few songs in, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Like this send, like when you're sending an effect. It's not like the knob where it's at 12 o'clock and you can go right or you can go left. You know, like the filter is like 0 to 100, like a dry wet knob.
Oh yeah,
kind of similar to some other mixers that you probably are aware of.
Sure.
And and so the same thing for the send and return effect is going to be 0 to 100.
Yeah.
So that took a little bit of adjusting, just kind of remembering that, you know. But other than that, beat effects are the same. We added a Shimmer Reverb, which is kind of cool. Which I guess is like the tail of the reverb.
Yeah.
And then like stacked like an octave higher or something like that.
It sounds like, well, I've got Valhalla Shimmer.
Oh, yeah.
Which is an incredible plugin. So if it's anything like that, I'm sure it's going to be very usable.
Yeah. I have the vintage verb, Valhalla vintage verb.
Too. Yeah.
And I opt for the 80s sound.
Of course.
Naturally. You have to dial it back though, because it can be a little overwhelming.
Sure.
It's a lot of reverb, man.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Well, that's why I like those. They're not subtle. You know, and it just sounds so good. It's, you know,
it does.
That's my bread and butter. So I mean, I have like Black Hole for my like wild, out of this world type.
That's Eventide.
Eventide,
yeah, right.
Then I have some others that I don't use enough to even remember the names, but you know, between those two, it's pretty much all I need as far as reverb goes, you know.
You know, I find myself grabbing for just the stock Ableton reverb a lot of times.
Right.
And it's because I just know it so well.
Yep.
And so you know, I'll just grab that, throw it on, and I have 3 like on my sends. My send buses, I have you know, a gated reverb, medium reverb, and a large reverb. And they're all just Ableton stock, you know, reverb. And I think they sound great. And if I want to get a little weird, then I'll throw the Valhalla on like a track. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those reverbs have made their way into, you know, millions of songs.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like they're
so
clearly
many people.
working. Yeah.
I think the main reason people like using the third-party ones though is because Ableton's known to be very sterile sound, you know, and you want to add some color, you want to add some randomness, then you can get that kind of gritty third-party algorithm going on, you know, and that's cool.
Yeah, the Valhalla really does have that kind of like vintagey sound.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
does.
I don't know what kind of like sorcery wizardry they're doing, the engineers are doing to make something, you know, analog modeled.
Oh, dude.
But they're nailing it. whatever they're doing.
I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy, honestly. I respect the hell out of anyone who can put together a plug-in and do it well like that.
Right.
Especially the people who are doing like the emulations of, I don't know, like the H3000 or like ridiculously expensive instruments.
Or Lexicon reverb or something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Lexicon. I think Native Instruments does like the RC24 or something.
Yeah.
And I believe that's an emulation of the Lexicon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that stuff is super useful too, especially for like the bedroom producer. Like, I mean, I started out and I started out on GarageBand like 9 years ago.
Wow.
And before I even discovered what third-party plugins were, and
Right.
yeah, it's a good way to sort of like learn about the vintage gear without owning the vintage gear, because I'm never gonna buy a $3,000
Yeah.
H3000
No.
or anything like that.
No. I probably would, will at some point, but
Yeah.
my priorities
When you own your own
are-
studio or
Exactly,
whatever,
right. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
But it would be such expendable income that it's like, I'd like to have one.
It'd be nice. It'd be a nice little guilty pleasure buy or something,
Right.
or just realized my chair was like super gangster leaning. Do a little readjust here. We're good now.
Low riding
Things
with
are
Ryan
cool.
Roth.
Yeah, no. I mean, these are the chairs we use in our office, and a lot of times I'll be in a meeting. I'll be like, all right, guys, let's talk about budgets.
Right. Rest your coffee on your chest.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, we're golden here. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming out all the way from
dude.
San Francisco. This is great.
Yeah. I mean, it's been such a fun weekend already. I mean, I did just earlier today. I did the episode with Aaron Parisi at the Paramount, which was amazing.
Very cool.
She's got her hands in so many musical things here in the LA scene.
Nice.
With with Moon Tribe festivals and her record label Wolfpack and all these, and her music and stuff. And
what kind of stuff does she do?
She makes like sci-tech, so kind of like
sci-tech.
Yeah, that's what I said. I hadn't really heard of it, but I mean, it's legitimately a great genre. It's psychedelic techno.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to check that out.
So like the psychedelic elements of psytrance, but without the trance parts.
Okay.
Replace that with techno.
Nice.
Yeah.
Making your own thing. That's cool.
Well,
I respect that.
I think it might be a smaller subgenre of techno. But I mean, I looked it up, and there's like
it's a real there's
thing.
A following.
Yeah,
That's sick, man.
Yeah, the amount of I've talked about this way too much on the podcast, but the amount of like genres and subgenres and stuff is just like mind-boggling.
Oh, dude, I'm in deep to a few very deep subgenres myself, like with the synthwave scene,
right,
and everything like that. And I didn't even know this, but when I started getting into it, there's like all these little subcategories of synthwave, like of 80s synthwave. I mean, there's the vaporwave, there's like the then there's subcategories of vaporwave,
sure,
and then there's like part of synthwave, there's like dark wave, and it's sort of very similar sounds, and then there's synth pop,
right,
which is kind of its own thing. People are calling like retro wave something now. But
it's like the synth pop that like you make kind of has like the vocals and stuff, but has that. But then you also have like the kind of like Night Rider-y stuff. That's just like these like old school synths.
Yeah,
and then you even have stuff that literally is coming off of like Game Boys.
Right, chiptune
stuff too,
8-bit
right?
sort of stuff. Yeah, and that stuff's really cool. And I've never really made that stuff. I've kind of always wanted to, but. Yeah, I guess everyone sort of has their own little niche or niche or whatever you want to call it within, and it kind of gives you an identity. Right. And I think that's what's important. It also helps, people find, like, search, like, oh, I really like this chiptune, so I'm going to look for chiptune artists,
Right.
And so, yeah, I think that in general, though, like, kind of the 80s stuff for the Driver405 project is kind of just whatever 80s stuff, like 80s inspired electronic music I feel like making at the time. Whether that has to do with like 80s ballads, synth pop. I just did like, the first one I released was like an electro, like an 80s electro track.
Oh, nice.
With the record label called Broderskab out in France. And those guys put it together, a synthwave like EP.
Oh, wow.
Of like different types of synthwave, more like that heavy kind of driving bass line sort of synthwave. But yeah, you can get really you can get really deep into the weeds, and you know, we were just talking about vaporwave. I mean, like that's you know, there's so many different types of that.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I you know, I have a little bit of a gripe with vaporwave that a lot of it just sounds kind of like lo-fi hip hop.
Yeah,
and I kind of wish there was a little bit more of a separation because I'm used to, you know, like the what's the super traditional vaporwave. It's like the Macintosh.
C-punk? Were they calling it? They're calling it C-punk or something?
I'm thinking of this one particular artist. They used to
Macintosh Plus.
Macintosh Plus.
Yeah,
where they're sampling a bunch of these like old school like elevator music type
St.
stuff.
Pepsi as well.
St. Pepsi, yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, that to me is like really like hyper vaporwave. Like that is vaporwave, you know?
Yeah, I mean they helped sort of Blank Banshee, I think, is another one.
Yeah.
They helped sort of like define the sound of vaporwave. Like you know, vaporwave is dead, right? But like, you know, if it's dead, then why are people still listening to it?
Exactly, right.
You know, it's like, they sort of like kind of carved out that sort of sound a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which I think, vaporwave, like, it was funny because somebody showed me this. The aesthetic of vaporwave has been around for a while. Who was it? Rihanna was experimenting before vaporwave. It was C-punk,
really,
which is weird, and it was like dolphins and like retro images around like dolphins and stuff,
and floppy drives,
and like grids and stuff, and I guess she had that as her visuals back in like 2000, and I'm not even going to pretend to know what year it was, but it was a while ago. It was before vaporwave was like famous.
Interesting.
Yeah.
C-punk.
C-punk.
Like SEA, like the ocean.
SEAPUNK.
Oh, I do remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fascinating.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it to really talk about it.
Yeah, right.
It's there. It's a thing. You can Google it.
You can Google it. I will.
Please.
I love that it has such an aesthetic. And literally they use the word aesthetic. And the word aesthetic is done in this fancy font. So the word aesthetic has an aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like usually like there's a space between each letter.
Yes.
And it's so much fun. And like just like the style and the designs around 80s is just kind of
old statues and the Macintosh computers and dolphins.
It's very specific, and it's actually like nostalgic, but at the same time it's almost not really like the people who are nostalgic weren't born in the or didn't live through the 80s like myself.
Right. Yeah.
I was born in 92 and I'm like obsessed with 80s music because my parents listened to it, right?
Yes.
You know, my mom got me into like Erasure and Alphaville and Depeche Mode and stuff, and so that's what inspired me to start making 80s music. But yeah, like the imagery is sort of just kind of this like, I don't know, it's like this sort of mystique or something that's like very playful,
kind of silly, you know, but like it's just cool, you know. It's like it's neon. It's like I feel like all these things come and go in cycles, right? Like 90s stuff is really popular. People are dressing like they were in those old sitcoms where they're in high school and shit. Like
like how I'm dressing right now.
Exactly. Yes.
Like jean jackets and you get crazy designs.
That shirt specifically.
Literally, this shirt is synthwave,
yes.
vaporwave, or whatever you want to call it, like the Breakfast Club, you know, very inspired by that stuff. And, a lot of it has to do with like the sort of like the old lo-fi synths, you know, that they use. I mean, you got like the DX7, run it through some tape or something like that.
That's the 80s synth.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. You know, like so many records.
Yeah.
You know?
Has that kind of plasticky FM synth sound.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really know how else to describe it other than kind of plasticky. It has this like ring to it a little bit.
That's a good way to put it. Well, FM synthesis, you know, our AS1, our Turais AS1, our little mono synth box, that thing was inspired by was essentially like it's very similar to the Prophet 1. Or it's one voice of the Prophet 6. So, it has a lot of the sounds in there are like 80s.
Right.
And so it has like kind of an 80s sort of like, you could come up with some cool 80s sounds with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a little detune on it or whatever. And
Is it digital or is it analog?
Oh, fully analog.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And I've been saying it wrong the whole time. It's Turais?
Turais. Yeah. This would be like two rise.
Turais. Okay.
I think you've been saying Touriers, which a lot of people do say, which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
Touriers, we get Turais,
Two raisins.
Yeah, two raisins. Yeah. Or actually, we get topaz a lot.
Topaz,
which is hilarious because actually the logo sort of looks like topaz.
It does, yeah.
If you're looking at it from afar,
right?
And it's like, no, that's not it. But all right, I know what you're talking about.
Two eyes. That's easy to remember.
Yeah.
That's
funny, but
that's great. Yeah, and the Turais 16, you guys partnered with Dave Smith on that one, right?
Yeah, so we actually partnered with Dave Smith on the SP16 and the AS1 for the filters specifically in the SP16.
Right.
Is the Dave Smith filter. Yeah, which is that really nice
Curtis chip, I think.
Yeah. I actually don't
like
really know the details on that.
Yeah,
but,
they're great.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I have the
it screams, man. That resonance is just like.
These are so much of this stuff. Basically, everything in here is on my to buy list at some point. You know.
Yeah, it's expensive stuff, man.
Right.
But it's worth it. It's
yeah.
If you want to be a pro, you gotta go pioneer. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean these boxes too. I mean some of the older groove machines, not so big on, but like these have blended more into the sampler sequencer world, and in the late 2000s and today they're much more usable. Like I had some of the Korg Electribes and stuff.
Yeah,
and they're cool, but a lot of those are kind of a little bit. They have this like sound that doesn't really sound all that great to me. But
I feel ya.
You know what I mean. But a lot of these, like you guys are building stuff that has Dave Smith filters in it and very pristine Pioneer sound and of course very user friendly, which
and
is
just the quality, like the build quality is good.
Yes.
You can bring it around with you. You can throw it around.
Right.
Don't drop it off a building or anything. But you can bring it around. It's rugged. It's gonna last. And
right.
That's kind of that's kind of how we build our products. It's just very high quality standard.
Right.
And
right.
the SP16. It's just super fun to jam on. It's got that nice sequencer, and then the pads feel really good, and and then the squid, dude, that thing is dope, and I use that a lot actually. I use that to sequence my AS1, my Korg mini log, and then a bunch of tracks on Ableton.
Interesting.
And so it's just a sequencer, so it's just MIDI.
Yeah.
But I call it the happy accident box.
Oh my god.
And so yeah, dude, I'll get get a drum pattern running on the SP16, and then I'll run the bass line through it, and I'll sidechain the bass line or whatever with the SP16, the sidechain effect, sidechain compression, and then actually it's called Ducker, I think. And then I'll play some chords in the chord mode with the Korg mini log, and then bring that all into Ableton, and then finish the song. A lot that's not the only way I produce. That's not my only workflow, but that is a great way to come up with ideas.
Yeah. It's a great one of your workflows, I'm sure.
Just to get out of the box first.
Yes, and that's my whole thing, and why I love these boxes.
Yeah, and we were just talking about
hardware
that,
samplers and stuff. Yeah, because I like to get the happy accidences. I mean, that's the first and foremost.
Yes.
Happy accidences are the best. And any piece of gear that
Bob
facilitates
Ross, man.
that. Yes.
Bob Ross.
Happy little accident.
Rest
here.
in peace, man. I was him for Halloween, actually.
Were you?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I was, but I wasn't Bob Ross. I was Bob Roth.
Bob Roth.
That's my real last name. Yes. Bob Roth.
That's amazing.
There is no Bob Roth in my family, though, actually.
Right. No, you're the first.
I'm the first.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
For one day.
But yes, the happy accidents, man, that's where it's at. And a lot of times, the randomizers and those sequencers are it's sometimes, dude, it's the most simple things. I'll be on Ableton, and I'll have a bunch of tracks going, and I'll copy a bunch of MIDI patterns, and I'll want to bring them over to a later section of the song, and I'll paste them. But then I'll paste them on the wrong track.
Yeah.
And it was the craziest thing, but I actually came up with a really cool melody on accident by bringing in a drum pattern into a synth. Huh. Or you could bring the synth melody into the drum pattern.
Right.
Or vice versa, and you're yo, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of those things that you don't mean to do.
Right. And with hardware, it happens a lot because of how you're working it. Where you hit the wrong button.
Yeah.
Or you're still kind of learning the OS on it or something.
Yeah.
And so paths get crossed, and you're oh wow, that's cool. Or some things just kind of have a mind of their own to a certain degree.
Yeah, they do.
I got started on the Ensoniq ASR 10.
Okay.
And which is was what Kanye West used.
Yeah,
for all
that's
of
where
his
he chopped pieces together, right, and played
Yeah.
them out on the keys.
So it was famous for you could load a sample into it. Let's say pretend it's 20 seconds, and it would auto map it across all the keys.
Sliced it out.
Yes,
that's
for you.
right. That's right.
Right. Whereas a lot of the other ones, most of the other ones, including the MPCs, you were still having to find each of these start points and kind of manually do it. And this one, you just.
So you have an Ensoniq AR10?
I sold it.
Oh, you sold it. Okay.
I will be buying another one.
So what's in your studio right now? Like, what are your 3 go-tos right now?
3 go-tos.
Yeah.
Well, my push 2, of course.
Okay, I have a push 1.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that thing because I mean, Ableton is the hub of my everything, and
Yes. Yeah. Me too.
I hate random MIDI controllers that I have to assign and then label with tape, and it's just like, and the push is just permanently connected. It's the physical side of Ableton, right? So that's the workhorse.
Yeah.
I have my Yamaha SU700, which is a very weird, quirky.
I don't think I know what that is.
Drum machine sampler. It was a sampler. It has these. You would love it. It has these retro vintage colors that look like
SU700.
Yeah, the colors look like some old like ski jacket from the 90s or late 80s. Yeah,
I might need this.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're a hidden gem. A slept-on sampler.
SU700.
SU700.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna write it down right now.
They're made by Yamaha, and they have a really. I talk about it so much that I'm probably fucking this up for us, because people are eventually going to start buying them.
All these guys, all the people watching this are like, yo, SU700, like they're all going to get sold out.
Right, yeah.
I'm not even going to buy one.
Right, yeah.
I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. Well, so what's funny is they were sold back in the day. I saw one at Guitar Center. I must have been 19, but like a couple of years before I even started making music, right?
Right.
And it was in the DJ section of Guitar Center, not the pro audio section.
Yeah.
And it's sitting there in between these two, DJ monitors, speakers, and had like a turntable next to it, and they were selling it as this like performance sampler, right?
Interesting.
For DJs.
Okay.
But it was the wrong crowd that they were selling it to ultimately, you know, because what it was essentially Ableton in a box. Huh. So what you can do is it's
like a workstation sort of thing.
Yeah, it looks like an MPC.
Okay.
But it has these like chunky buttons on it and stuff, and the pads are all at the bottom. And what you could do is you could load it full of drum samples, right? Mm-hmm. So you'd have your like drum samples, and you could sequence those. Cool. Then you had some free tracks that start to finish. They were like song length tracks. Oh. So as long as the thing is the sequencer. You know how like many drum samplers and samplers like this are these like loops that you build, right? Yeah. You build this loop, and then you copy that and you paste it and you build another loop and you string those together. Yeah. This wasn't like that. Huh. So what this was, it was like a DAW. So if you hit the space bar at the beginning of Ableton Live and you just let it play, that's what this sampler was doing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what you would do is you would have these. Could
you quantize?
You could quantize.
Okay.
On input, not afterwards.
Not afterwards.
You had to, on input, you had to, as you played. But
yeah, okay.
So some of the buttons, some of the pads were kind of were like these looped drum performance pads or whatever. So as soon as you would set it up for these loops, like 8 bars or 16 bars, and as soon as it hit the end of that, it would keep looping. But your timeline keeps going regardless. Okay. Yeah. So then the free tracks are just as long as you want them to be. And then there's these other there's these loop tracks that you could throw a loop at it and it would auto stretch it to what your loop BPM is, which is why I say it's like Ableton in a box.
Okay, cool.
Because you can just start throwing shit
a lot then on your tracks.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice. And so what's the third piece then?
Third piece would be probably my Dave Smith Polyevolver.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's like the is that the blue one?
It's the blue one
with all the crazy like the grid or the matrix or whatever on it. Yeah.
That one, I guess so. It's one knob per function almost.
Yeah. Okay.
So it has just it has like the sequencer in the upper right corner.
Right.
It's a beautiful weird machine as well. I mean, talk about happy accidents.
He's the man. He's the man.
Yeah.
I met him for the first time at Movement Detroit this year.
Interesting.
Or last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and his wife are really cool.
I've never met him, but I took my keyboard to their headquarters, which is in
San Francisco?
It's in San Francisco.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I always space on the name of this district.
Of the city that you live in?
Yeah, right, exactly, yes.
The district, though, specifically Mission District?
No, it's the Italian district. It's right above FiDi. It's not as far as Fisherman's Wharf. I know.
I like Fisherman's Wharf,
People are
though.
screaming at me right now because it's so obvious.
Yeah,
But for whatever reason, every time I go to say it or tell somebody, it just...
See, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I've been to San Francisco like 3 or 4 times, I think. I played at Temple a couple times.
That's when you came by.
That's when I came by Halcyon, for Headroom.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite memories is Fisherman's Wharf. It's so touristy, but it's so much fun, dude.
Dude, it's great.
And like the buckets of like crab or whatever that you get, like those crab buckets are like so expensive. But I just remember sitting there and those damn seagulls, like those seagulls will come over and steal your food.
They're militant.
Yeah, they are.
They're literally.
They must be like engineered seagulls or something. Like maybe they have cameras in their eyes or something.
Robots.
Seagull
made
robots.
By Google.
Yeah, and they're there just like to have fun. Or no, probably Elon Musk, because he's like a joker.
Yes.
So I feel like he would make these like seagull robots to come and steal your food, and he'd just be like sitting there like,
right,
those idiots.
Yeah. Collecting all your datas.
Yeah, collecting all your data. Yeah, exactly. And actually, it's funny. This weekend, I was hanging out with my friends in Phoenix, and they showed me a video of there's this whole. We went down this like rabbit hole on YouTube of what was it, like spy animals.
Whoa.
And how like there's these like zoologists who are studying animal behavior in the wild, and so they're creating all the like a hippo that has spy cameras that looks like a hippo and moves like a hippo to track like what hippos are doing in the wild.
That's amazing.
And like there's like a monkey one.
These are robots?
These are robots, yeah. And there was like a spy bush baby. And I was like the funniest. I was like, all right, that's where we're done
that's
tonight.
Where I tap out, yeah.
We're done. Like it's time to go to bed.
Right. If you see a spy bush baby, you're gonna be like, what the hell is a bush baby doing here?
Yeah, well,
you know?
And why is it here?
Why is it here? Right.
Yeah.
Not a very good spy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but they had these like really interesting like spots where they would post them, like the alligator one. They had like little baby alligators like in the eggs where the alligators were, and they were like chirping at the alligator. God. Yeah, super cool, man. If you're ever like bored on YouTube, and if you're ever like if you're watching our podcast and you're like, yo, I just want to like go down this rabbit hole of animal sociology. Then look up some spy animal videos. It's so cool.
I love a good YouTube rabbit hole.
Oh yeah,
you know,
same dude.
I've ended up in some weird places at like 3 a.m.
Oh
like,
yeah,
how did I get here?
Yeah, you like black out for like 6 hours. You're like, I thought I was watching videos about cats, and now I'm here watching conspiracies about,
exactly.
I don't know, the New World Order
JFK
or something.
And
And you're like, I think I'm a believer now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
oh, it's so great.
Like, I mean, I've spent a lot of time watching like the Joe Rogan's podcasts and stuff, and those are great.
They go deep.
I watched the alien one. Who's it? Bob Lazar? Did you see that one?
Yeah, the one where
it's insane.
Apparently, I mean, the aliens are confirmed, right?
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
So he says.
Yeah.
And so after that one, that's when I went deep into the alien. Like looking up all the Area 51 things and going like, oh crap. Yeah. But that one was fascinating. Like the guy actually said he lived in, he was like a worker at Area 51 or it was like Area S1 or something. It wasn't actually 51.
Right.
And he saw the spaceship and he like went in there and they're like, don't touch that. And
right.
I don't know. It just seemed kind of BS, but also maybe it's real.
Yeah. But also, I mean, and maybe, people like to have some fantastical story. I mean, that's what you hear about all these, but he doesn't really seem like that kind of person. He was talking, he was talking about the stuff that he saw, the moving objects in the sky that were moving too fast for their instrumentation and all that stuff. And it's like, I don't know. I believe that,
Yeah.
So like what, I don't know.
I do too. And then like there was the whole video around the government, who was it? Like the Air Force, I guess, was there was some Air Force pilot that was flying around and they like looked down and saw this object that was like moving like this.
Right.
Like spinning around and they're like, yo, this shouldn't do that. That's
And then it goes
and it's like gone.
Jumps out of
and then it's over here.
Yeah.
And it's over here. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what I do.
Shit. We need the aliens to like make an appearance. so that everybody freaks out and we stop infighting with all this bullshit.
What are they waiting for? Like
Right.
they keep pushing the PR date back. Like let's just send it, man. Like,
Alien PR.
Yeah, Alien PR.
Great album name.
That would be good. Alien PR. Like there's never a PR date. It's
Right.
just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be continued at all
To
times.
be continued. Yeah. Maybe they're just shy.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just like very shy.
They're really shy.
Yeah.
They come down with this emo hair and then just like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm not very happy today.
Like such a big deal.
Yeah. Let me go listen to Green Day.
Right. Yeah.
I love this theory.
that's
I love
great.
this theory about emo aliens.
Yes.
This is great.
Yeah.
This is great.
Oh, it's so great. So you were telling me about your new stuff. I don't know how much you can talk about, but so your Driver 405 is your Synthwave stuff.
Correct.
Roy Lacroix is your tech house alias. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So Driver 405 is specifically like the any 80s inspired synthwave, synth pop, electro, dark wave, that sort of thing, and
Right.
it has the 80s aesthetic around it. Roy Lacroix, which can be a little tongue twister sometimes, is very focused on like tech house, bass house, and I've dabbled a little breakbeat, a little acid house here and there. But in general, it's going to be your house music, your dance stuff that you're going to play out live.
Right.
And that one's super fun. It does have a little 80s and 90s inspiration to it too. So I'm, without kind of divulging much of what's going on with that, I do have a bunch of unreleased music that I'm like, getting ready to release, and I'm super stoked about it. And I can tell you though that stuff is inspired heavily by the 90s rave sounds, which is super exciting.
Your Roy Lacroix stuff.
Roy Lacroix,
Wow.
yeah. So that's inspired by like the 90s kind of rave sound, right?
Sick.
Like the Hoovers and the Super Saws of the 90s. So that one's, some of the stuff that I've been working on recently is kind of been just like that, like a aggressive tech house sound,
Right.
The track that I just recently released a track on Psycho Disco Records with my buddy Tommy. He goes by the artist name Circia, good friend of mine, and we sat down and in like I think it was like 2 or 3 studio sessions we finished this track. And then we obsessed over it and the mixing for weeks, as we were talking about earlier. It's like it's the idea is down there first, right?
Yeah.
But then you got to tweak and tweak and tweak.
Yeah.
And so then, Treasure Fingers, awesome dude. Just loved the track and put it out on the compilation, Psycho Killers compilation. And that came out, I think it was around like November of last year or something. I haven't released anything since then, but it's been doing well. A lot of people really like it, and it's a fun track to play.
Yeah,
in their sets.
right.
That was the track that I played at the Headroom.
Yeah.
SF, and I was like, oh, it sounds kind of good.
I took a double take. I was like, what? Not that I wouldn't expect it to be good, but it's like it was really good, and I was like, fuck, man, this is great. Like,
Thank you, man.
I'm just
Thank you.
constantly surprised and impressed with the level of stuff, the tracks that come through Headroom. It's just, I'm like, of course, right? I mean, this is all the stuff that makes it onto the internet that I'm like, wow, this is amazing. But to see all the people's faces in person, and you're all in the same room, and you're playing, it adds this extra element of coolness.
I agree, man. I mean, there were some really cool tracks that I was listening to. I mean, like a lot of the talent. There's a lot of talent at the Headroom, and I mean, so there's that, and then the 80s project. I just released a track on tape, actually, which is really cool.
Whoa,
my
cassette?
first track on tape cassette.
Sick.
Yeah, and that was through a label. It's a big fashion company called Vapor 95, and they have a label called Darknet. And Vapor 95 is like, is very big 90s, 80s sort of fashion company.
Nice.
And one of their big spokespersons is Churdley's, who's like the big YouTube guy, comedian or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're like, hey, so we're actually going to do a tape release. It's a little compilation, and then we put our track out. And this track was actually, I made it with my friend Colin. He goes by Colors. This track actually was like very dark, mid-tempo, like synthwave, like almost with like a resi feel to it. So a lot of the 80s stuff that I make is I don't know. It doesn't really have like a specific little box, you know.
Right.
And I feel like I have trouble sort of like I want to brand myself into a specific box, but then I start making music and I'm like, no, this sounds kind of cool. Let's just run with this.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
this is cool. Like some little synth riff works. And,
Why limit it? You know.
yeah, I mean, to a degree.
Yeah.
I'm branding it differently, but
As long as it falls within the guidelines of kind of
Yeah.
what you set yourself,
right.
you set your music up for, yeah.
And it's the audience, you know, like
It is, yeah.
somebody who's listening to that '80s stuff might kind of dive into vaporwave a little bit, might dive into synthwave a little bit, but you know, I feel like the house music is definitely like the tech house stuff is kind of in its own little world too.
Yeah. That's I've been really into Gorgon City lately.
Nice.
And
yeah.
they do. I mean, I
Great.
just found out about them in the last like year, but they have a lot of those kind of '90s inspired
Yeah.
samples and sounds in there, and
Yeah.
it's really almost hard to put to pin like what it is that you're hearing that makes it feel like it's '90s. You know, which
Yeah.
is so it's really well done. You know, it's not just you know. That could get really corny, really obvious if you just start using all these shitty samples from sample CDs from the 90s.
It's true,
you know?
man. It's true. Yeah.
yeah.
You gotta use it, and then you gotta sort of spin it and make it your own.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, it's like probably one of my favorite bands from like the late '90s, early 2000s, and actually one of the first like bands that got me into electronic music was Vengaboys. I don't know if you ever listened to the Vengaboys.
Yeah.
But dude, like
The Vengaboys is coming.
yeah, you know, we are the Vengaboys from outer space. You know,
Yes,
that's dude. That album, I forget. It was like my mom got me into that song or that album too. Wow. You know, she was just super forward thinking, and
Yeah.
very into electronic music.
I didn't realize that was electronic music, but it was.
I didn't either until and actually I remember being so pissed because I saw because the Six Flags theme song was "We Like to Party," you know, by the Vengaboys, and I was like, oh, everyone just likes this song now because it's on the Six Flags commercial, and that's when I realized I was a hipster.
Right.
That's when I was like, oh shit,
I liked the Vengaboys before they were the Six Flags commercial.
Yeah, and I was like 12.
Right.
Yeah, and then
That's
and I
amazing.
had like the flannel and like
The first hipster.
I was the first.
You were a hipster before it was cool to be a hipster.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Dude, I went on this this tirade of downloading contact packs. So there's
no.
Yeah, so
I've done that.
People make their own contact packs.
Yeah.
They're not
yeah.
not exactly through the contact they try to Native Instruments tries to make it kind of difficult for you to make your own.
Oh, I know. I have some weird ones.
Yes. But the homemade ones are amazing, right?
Dude, the graphics on them too. I have like a gauntlet pack, like you know the old video game, the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
I have a whole like contact pack for that.
Right.
Innovation Base Station.
Yep.
Dude, there's
I have one with all like Nintendo 64 sounds.
Oh, really?
That were stripped from the ROMs, like not even sampled from the games.
Is it crunchy? Do they have like a bit depth that you can change a knob or something?
No, it's literally just the samples that you just play back. But it's they're I mean they are crunchy because they're such small files.
Right.
Because they had to. What they would do is they would speed them up.
Yeah.
So that they would be a smaller file size, and then the ROM the Nintendo 64 would slow them down and play them back in the game.
Huh.
To make them sound normal, but you could fit more onto this tiny cartridge.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so a lot of them have this like there's all these like little Yoshi sounds and stuff that are like beep, beep, beep.
Oh, but they're really fast.
But they're really fast. But it makes like really cool like percussive elements.
Can you slow it down on the actual
Sure.
contact VST?
Yeah.
And you can it sounds like the real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude,
to pretty much all of them.
I want this.
Yeah. I'll send you the link. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Please send me a link. I have a really great one too. There's a company called Sound Iron.
I know Sound Iron.
And I almost don't want to tell anyone about this because it's the funniest sample pack I've ever heard, like ever. And it's called Flatulence. And it's a fart contact instrument.
Oh my God.
And dude, I don't know how they deep sampled these fart sounds. I almost don't want to know.
The mic all the way up there.
Yeah, I hope they like got rid of the mic afterwards or something, or like, you know, I don't know,
Sterilized it.
Sterilized it at least. But dude, there are some raunchy ones on this, man. I mean,
Wow.
it's just, yeah. And so what I like to do is when I'm really bored, and you know those times where you have writer's block or whatever, and you're like making a track, and this sounds like shit, and then you know. You just get on and load up an instance of flatulence, and just start, like just start making like fart noises.
That's incredible.
And that's like hours of entertainment right there.
Right.
You know? And then like who cares if you didn't make a banger? Like you just made fart sounds for an hour.
Yeah.
And that's
Sometimes,
rewarding.
You know? Yes. Sometimes it pays to be a little silly for a while, you know?
Yeah, it does. I think it does.
Yeah.
That's the contact instruments
Somebody
are cool.
made that.
Someone made that.
That was someone's job.
People buy that.
Right.
It's for sale. You can buy it. Flatulence, man.
Who needs a whoopee cushion?
Yeah, I guess you don't. There was a really cool one though. The Contact, they had a little a free one. I think that they were giving away Native Instruments during like Christmas time. I think, and it was like a little toy box one.
Oh,
did you ever get that one?
No.
I think it was called like the toy box, and you could like there's a little ballerina, and you like spun her around, and there's all these random sounds like a Space Invaders and like all like toys.
That's
like
cool.
Child's toys and stuff.
Yeah.
But like that's like one of the coolest things is how creative the UI is, and how creative the graphic designer and the visual designer gets to playing around with how to how the user plays with these sounds.
I love stuff like that, like the teenage engineering stuff.
Oh, it's so cool.
It's so cool. With the screen really isn't even telling you much of anything other than just looking cool. And
it doesn't tell you much.
Doesn't tell you much.
Did you ever play with the Rick and Morty one?
No.
I bought that one.
Was it a special edition?
Yes, it was
pocket
special.
Operator?
Yep, it was special edition, and I actually bought it. So I actually set an alarm at 8 a.m. to get up. Yeah, I actually woke up at 8 a.m.
Wow, that's impressive.
Usually I'm waking up at like 9.
Yeah, right.
I woke up at 8 a.m. and I literally like bought this thing. Or no, actually I went to the website and it said sold out. I was like, shit, already? And so I think I went to so Adult Swim had a bunch for sale, and then the Rick and Morty website had a bunch for sale. And I went to one of the other ones, and I ended up buying like one of the last ones. And
Wow.
it was.
I didn't even know they made those. I don't know.
It's amazing, dude. It's the coolest thing, and because you have like Rick and Morty on the screen, and they're like kind of like chatting or whatever, and all like the you know how like the Pocket Operator has, they're all very similar styles, you know.
Yeah.
But this was on brand for Rick and Morty, so you know they had like specific like words that would be like tailored to Rick and Morty, you know, and on the visual screen and stuff.
So cool.
Super fun.
I love how each one's themed, like a little like the submarine. The base one is a submarine.
Yeah, it's
and
clever.
the little boxers, and I had the OP one.
Yeah,
and
cool.
You
sold it?
I sold it. I really regret.
Yeah.
I regret not having it. I don't regret selling it, and I will buy another one eventually.
Yeah,
but I sold it in the end because it wasn't as much fun. I mean, talk about a happy accident machine. That thing was incredible. Yeah. Like, there was nothing that I've ever messed around with that was so quick to just turn on, and then you've just got these cool sounds just immediately, and fun to play around with. But ultimately, like, how often did it make it into my music? You know, not all that much.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of times, what people ask me, they'll be like, Ryan, should I buy XYZ or should I buy, whatever? And I'll say, like, look, number one, like, does it solve a need? Right. And number two, will it inspire you to create?
Right.
I think that's like just so important, because if you're sitting there and you're inspired to create with this little piece of gear, then that's amazing, and then it's worth the $150 or whatever. Sure. But if it's just collecting dust and you don't want to play with it, then it's like back in the day when you wanted to buy that new Star Wars toy, and your mom's like, you don't need that. Right. You're like, but I do.
And then you got it, and it just sat on the shelf.
And it sat on the shelf. It's just like they're adult toys,
Right. Expensive adult toys.
Very expensive adult toys. Yeah, I actually haven't recorded any sounds yet either with the Pocket Operator, now that I think about it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've had so much fun, just like, if I'm sitting in the car or something, well, not driving. I'm like
on the freeway. That's where Driver405 comes from.
Yeah. So yeah, secretly I'm making music while driving. That's all the music is made while I've been driving and stuck in traffic on the freeway, on the 405 highway in LA.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Exactly. No, and actually Roy Lacroix came from I was drinking like a ton of Lacroix one day.
Yeah.
And my buddy Johnny and Vishal, they were like they started calling me Roy Lacroix.
That's funny.
Because
That's
they're
hilarious.
like, dude, you drink more Lacroix, whatever, than a lot of people I know. You're Roy Lacroix, and I'm like, it's a good name actually. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah,
That's gonna be my new name.
So good.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
Yeah, the OP1, as much fun. Like I said, it wasn't. It was one of those weird things where I was using it a lot.
Yeah.
As kind of the scratch pad, but ultimately, like the output of the thing was a little too noisy, and the sound of it was very digital, and I was really kind of going for more of like a warm analog sound.
Well, if you want to see somebody use that really well, there's an artist named Cuckoo.
I know Cuckoo. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I saw him perform on...
He's amazing, dude.
I think he was on the OP1 or the OPZ, but he performed on it at Moogfest. I was out there in Durham, North Carolina. He performed on that, dude. And yeah, the sounds, you're right. They're very simple. Mm-hmm. A lot of it was like, it's a lot chiptune-y kind of stuff. Yeah. But if that's like what you're into, I think then that's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Even kind of lo-fi, like hip-hop stuff. I mean, you can do with the 4 tracks and, it's a little sampler and the effects are really cool. But what I ended up buying with the money I got for that, which was about the same price, was a Roland Integra 7, which is another weird device that was kind of sold to the wrong audience.
Yeah.
it was sold to the the guy that was going to be playing the keyboard for a Nordstrom's band or something, or like a jazz band or something,
Nice.
So it has all, like, it's one effects, it's a 2-space rack unit that has every single sound that Roland's ever made, including hyper realistic multi-sampled guitars and sitars and drum kits and just everything.
Is it expensive?
It was about $1,000.
Okay,
but
that's not bad.
But it makes its way into every single song that I make.
That's important, dude. Yeah. That's how I feel about my Korg Mini Log.
Right.
Literally everything. Like, Are You Ready? The Psycho Disco track.
Yeah.
Korg Mini Log for the lead. Every 80s song I release has some more or less there's an effect or whatever. I just love the knob up on it. It's just rich sounds. Run that through a reverb and it's like game over.
It's great.
You got to find a synth that you just like. You definitely like have to have your own sound, right?
Yeah.
And so like having like the same synth on every track, I feel like does sort of help.
Sure. Yeah.
So maybe that's the Integra 7 for you.
Right. Well, yeah. For me, it's having these weird things that aren't super popular for because I also have Serum and
of course
and Massive and all that, but like I'm trying to craft or create like a collection of things that aren't quite so popular.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I definitely want to experiment a little bit more with some weird like inexpensive hardware.
Yeah, right. Well, the SU700, you could probably get one. The hard part is finding one, but if you can find one, probably $200.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
I just sold my. I'm in the market. I just sold my Modal Sculpt, which is a cool little synth. I just never used it. It sounds great. Nothing wrong with it. Just never used it. So I'm trying to find something around like the $200 to $300 range that I could like, that I could use on a lot of stuff. Like something that's just like really odd. Because I've got a monosynth, I've got a polysynth, I've got all the VSTs in the world on my computer. Right. I've got sequencer and stuff like that, but it's like, what else is there? Something that's like a little like left field, I'm kind of looking for now at this point.
Yeah, so the SU700 is going to be really good for kind of, it sounds like 90s house music.
Nice.
That is the sound of that box, right?
I love it.
And really great for drum loops, really good groove, really crunchy converters. As for, it doesn't have a synth on board. The sampling, like if you were to say, like as far as coming up with like melodic sounds, that's not the box for it.
Got it.
But you can get a lot of like really happy accidents out of it. So if you want to sample something, one of your synths, and then mess around with the effects and that sort of thing, you can get.
Good for percussion though.
Very good for percussion. For
that
drums.
might be the play then, because I'm definitely looking for more like weird syncopated percussion. For the house music that I'm making.
And you can very easily throw in like dotted notes or triplets.
Does it accept
like that?
Accept MIDI in?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. MIDI in and MIDI out.
Very cool.
So a lot of times I'll make stuff in that and then just slave it to Ableton.
Yeah.
And then just hit record and just record the stuff. And I don't even, I mean, the thing has a floppy in it, and it's miserably slow to save. So I don't save, I don't save anything in it.
A floppy.
I make stuff and I just record it into Ableton and then I just turn it off.
I remember the days of the floppy disk.
Yeah.
My first computer was my grandpa's computer, and I'm really mad he sold that thing, but it was like this big, it was huge, and I would always get, and I finally convinced him to let me put it in my room in my bedroom. And I had like Wheel of Fortune, and I would play that every day. And that's, I think, probably what got me addicted to video games. Wheel of Fortune, and then like I remember there's this one game called Montezuma's Revenge.
I remember that.
Do you remember? Have you ever played that game?
I don't know if I played it, but I remember it. Yeah.
It's so much fun, and now you can play it on your iPhone. They actually created a version for your iPhone.
Right.
But that Montezuma's Revenge, and then I found out like years later what Montezuma's Revenge actually means, which it means diarrhea.
Yes, right.
So literally, some guy made a game called Diarrhea. And I was playing it as a 6-year-old kid in my bedroom with on my grandpa's computer, and that was all floppy disks. So I had like a whole stack of like the floppy disks and stuff. And yeah, dude. So I think actually, you know what? Like now that I think about it, like back when we were talking about how even though you weren't born in the '80s, I think there was definitely a lot of inspiration still, because now we're in this era where you've got this this thing in your pocket.
Right.
But I feel like we were very fortunate to grow up in a decade where we didn't have all of that, you know, like it was still sort of trying to figure itself out. And there was all these weird little failures like Furbies, you know,
or Tamagotchis.
Tamagotchi. I had a Tamagotchi, dude. I kept killing that thing. Like, I don't know.
Poor thing just wanted some food.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't be a dad. You know, I kept killing the Tamagotchi, like, you know, and so, that poor thing.
Yeah.
And all these sort of like weird little toys and technologies and stuff that sort of, now it's just it's all very well done,
right?
And it's like the standard is so much higher now,
and it's and your average young person just expects it.
Yeah, now they do, and they'll look back at like Mario 64 and be like, "What the hell is this?" But dude, I remember when Mario 64 was out.
It seems so futuristic.
Blew my mind.
Yeah,
you know,
being able to run in a 3D plane like that.
Yeah,
when you're used to Contra and Mario and being on like a 2-dimensional plane running left to right, and that's all there was, you know.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild, you know.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Even like the video games that were just those crappy little, like essentially like a pocket operator.
Yeah.
You remember those? They had those little video games, little football ones and stuff.
Of course I do. Do you remember it was McDonald's or Burger King? They actually gave away like little 2D video games.
Yeah.
I think it was like Sonic and like I think there was like a Pokemon one or something, but there was all sorts of different like Sega ones, and I collected all of them, and I thought it was so cool. And I was like 12 years old, and people would come over to my house and be like, "What? Whoa!"
There was a heyday for McDonald's toys.
Yeah,
you know, they used to be really cool. Like I remember I had these trucks. I still have one or two of them. But there were these little trucks with these little rubber like wheels, and they were classic '90s like pickup trucks and Jeeps. You know, with like
those.
and then they were Hot Wheel size or whatever.
Yeah.
But then they also had, remember they had those the Transformers that were like the Hamburglar and the French fries. And they would turn into a jet.
I do remember those.
You know, or like a little robot or something. You know, but it was all the burgers and stuff.
Those are so cool.
Yeah.
Those are so cool.
What are they doing now?
I don't know.
Selling Frozen dolls. Bro,
the worst. The worst. I don't want a Frozen doll.
No.
You know what? I think one of the coolest ones was McDonald's. No, it was Burger King. They sold little Pokeballs, and I'm a huge Pokemon fan. Like really big into Pokemon.
Right.
And they sold these Pokemon balls, and you'd open the ball, and it would be a little gold, 24-karat gold medallion of like a Pikachu or like a Mewtwo or something, and I think it was like they were like $10 or something, and I had like one because I'm not made of money,
right? Yeah.
And my mom was like, "All right, you're gonna mow lawns for a month to get this Pokemon ball,"
right.
And it was so rewarding. Like I think that like growing up and as like a 5 to 10 year old kid and working my ass off for for buying like some Legos or buying whatever and stuff. And so that I guess that's the nostalgia kind of comes into play there too, because the value of it was so much more important. And nowadays, like as a working adult, 27 years old, if I want to go buy a freaking Happy Meal, I can go buy 10.
Right.
And it's fine.
Yeah, right. Although I do love the moment that we just had at the sushi place where we got the little Japanese toy balls. Do you have it on you?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, he has it on him.
Yeah. This is awesome. So
that was a nostalgic moment.
Kura, the sushi revolving sushi bar. If you spend like $1,000 on sushi, they'll give you a little toy ball. I'm joking. It's not 1,000. It's probably like $50 or $60, but they should probably lower the threshold a little bit.
Yeah, we spent $23 each, and
we still didn't get a ball.
No, well they gave not automatically.
They were nice. They were nice to us about it.
Yeah, they kind of rolled their eyes.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They were like, you guys are like old grown men.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, it was a little weird, but fine. These little balls here, and then like
what's on the note? I didn't even read it.
So it's the show One Punch Man, which
that's what you were talking
huge
about,
fan of One Punch Man. I've seen both seasons. Highly recommend One Punch Man, especially if you like satirical anime. And the note itself is looks like it's one of the heroes.
It's a tiny little notepad.
Yeah, one of the heroes, Genos, on the notepad, and it's so cute. It's so cute.
It fit the tiniest little notes.
Yeah. You gotta get a super tiny pen.
Right.
I could maybe write like a couple words of my handwriting.
Right. A good notepad for to-do lists on your lazy Sunday, maybe, right?
Yeah.
You got one thing you need to accomplish.
Yeah, like wake
Sleep.
up.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We're on the same page. Yeah, sleep. Yeah, exactly.
It's 4 letters.
Eat food.
Eat food, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
For sure, man. So what video games have you been playing recently? If any.
I try to limit it. There's a lot that I would like to play, but I'm a PUBG person.
Oh, great.
So yeah, I'm
cool game.
Yeah, even if I'm not playing it, I am watching people play it on Twitch.
Yeah.
Because for me,
it's fascinating. They're good.
And it's like chess, because there's so many different aspects of it, like where you are on the map and the circle closing in, and all the looting system and what you keep on you and how you use your smokes and your grenades and so many different ways you can get from the start to the end and win the game.
Yeah.
So I love it.
It's like it's a lot of strategy involved, and PUBG is the 1 versus 100 thing as well, right?
Right. Yeah. Battle Royale.
Yeah. I got really deep into Fortnite.
Yeah, I was into Fortnite
really
for a while
deep.
too.
And so I think I started on like season 3 or something, and I was playing through like season 5 or 6, and then I just kind of got a little sick of it. And then I ended up buying Breath of the Wild for the Switch, and then I stopped playing Fortnite and started playing my Switch. But yeah, I still will occasionally jump on to Fortnite every once in a while. My username is Dangus Jenkins.
Nice.
So add me on Xbox. It's Dangus Jenkins. Kind of like Leroy Jenkins from the World of Warcraft video.
I love it.
And so then I've been playing recently. I've been playing Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Nice.
As of like a couple weeks ago.
That's also a first-person shooter, right?
Yes.
Kind of similar.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you could there's also third person. So it's like you're like kind of looking at the character walking around.
Like Fortnite or
similar
PUBG,
to similar to Fortnite or whatever. And you're Star Wars character, and so like you start out as kind of like a grunt, and then you start killing people, and then you move up, and you can use your coins that you acquired through war to buy like Darth Maul or Darth whatever, and
I remember reading there's some flack on this one because you can pay to play.
Yeah,
you can pay to get Darth Maul, right?
Right.
Yeah,
and
so people were upset by that.
So actually, people are saying this is an old game, but they're saying that it made one of the greatest comebacks in all of video games because they completely changed it and fixed it, and now everyone's happy and loves it.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so if you're like a brand like who put out a bad product and is trying to figure out a way to fix it. How to be more customer centric. Maybe take a look at a case study around how Battlefront 2 did their thing.
Nosedived and then pulled up
and then fixed it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's really fun. I like. They just released an update like yesterday. You can be BB-8. The Star Wars little guy, and you can run around and just zap people, like, bzz, bzz, and he's so OP, man. Like he goes around and just like zaps you, and that's it. And like,
is he a cheap character?
No, he's expensive.
No, I don't mean cheap like price. I mean like his skills are too good.
I'd say so.
Yeah, like Chun-Li and like was always the Street Fighter, the cheap one. She'd do that spinning kick and you could never get out of it.
Ridiculous. Or like I think who was it? Bayonetta in like Smash Brothers Brawl, I think, was like really, really good.
Right.
But yeah, it's a good character, and it's so small and just like zips by you and zaps you and you're dead. So, yeah, but yeah, it's.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
I think, part of the reason why I like PUBG is because I'm into it enough to play it every now and then and watch it, but then I kind of get sick of it, and I like that cycle because making music, I know that I use it as a release, and I kind of always should be making music because that's what I really care about.
Sure, same.
I don't want to get to 70 years old and be like, wow, I played a lot of great video games. I mean, like quite the legacy there.
Yeah, I used the flatulence VST for 64 days straight, and it made a lot of weird fart sounds, but here we are.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I'd like to look back and have as much music as I can, and I have centered my working career around music, so it makes more. You know what I mean?
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
But everyone needs a release too.
You do, and I think I wake up, I go to work, I'm here for 8 or 9 hours a day, and at the beautiful Pioneer DJ offices.
Yeah, you're a product rep for Pioneer. I don't think we ever even.
I'm actually a marketing specialist.
Oh, marketing specialist. Sorry,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I assumed you were a product rep because you sent me headphones.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess everyone who works here is technically a product rep too.
Sure.
This is an office of like 30 people, but yeah, I get up in the morning. I work here in Torrance, California. And then I go home and I work on music, make music. So yeah, same thing for me. Or I'll go out to an event and support a homie, or go play a gig or whatever. But dude, literally, I would say like 60 hours a week I'm working on music stuff.
That's great.
Just because it's part of our lives,
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm. This has taken up a lot of my wasted time.
Yeah.
Being able to do the
I know what you're
podcast.
saying. Yeah. Is that what would you be doing?
I would be trolling
otherwise?
the internet.
Yeah.
But now I've replaced it with like editing the podcast and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it does take up a good amount of time. I don't feel like it displaces much music, maybe a little bit, And once I can just do the podcast and make music, which is kind of the end goal, then it'll be much more even. But I don't feel like I'm missing out on time to. Because
dude, you're not. I mean, really, like, I think that as long as you're part of the journey and you're trying and you're doing your thing, that's like the most important thing,
And it's music related. It's going hand in hand.
Yeah, and we were saying everyone sort of runs their own race. Like some people might go just like overnight. And some people might be like, go backwards and kind of go around and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think if you're fully immersed in it, and a lot of people, and actually a lot of people say that if you really want to be successful in music, you have to go full-time music. And that is very frightening because how do you make money?
Right.
And
well, I would argue that I am full-time music right now.
That's true. I guess I am too.
You are
in
too.
A way, because I but during the day, I'm not producing. I do support the the products that we put out, and it's very immersive in the music industry. So it is a really cool experience. I'm meeting a lot of cool people. Yeah. I've done a lot of I've put together like 43 product launches, I think, over my time being here, about 3 years. A lot of launches, and then a lot of music partnerships and stuff like that, and put those together.
I mean, I don't know if that really exists as far as just making music and just making money. Yeah. Like, imagine how much stuff I would have can envision Claude Von Stroke doing, running Dirty Bird, right?
Oh, dude, he's so busy.
How many meetings is he in going over merch stuff with his team?
Nonstop,
and
I'm
like
sure.
and emails and lining up like dates for festival stuff, and like, you know, he probably like to a certain degree. That's what you have to do. You're never going to get away from that.
Well, a guy like Barkley, you know, is probably very regimented and scheduled, which is very important, especially for anyone who's producing music or pursuing it as a side hustle.
Yeah.
You know, okay, now is the time to have a studio session. Now is the time to you know, go talk about marketing. Now's the time to do an A&R session or whatever. Yeah. So very regimented. But when it comes to like you or I, or like, you know, any of the listeners or whatever, you know, if you're looking to organize your time, you know, you got to schedule it out. You know, I live and die by this calendar on my phone.
I would die without it.
I would too, in my notes, and then
reminders.
Yeah, and then a good friend of mine, Stuart Murphy, he taught me a technique that. He downloaded an Excel spreadsheet that is basically just a calendar, but you can break it out like by, I think it's like 10-minute increments or whatever per cell. And so what he would do is he would schedule, like after work, he would schedule all his stuff that he's going to do, you know? So he would say like, okay, for an hour, like on this Excel spreadsheet, for an hour right after work, I'm going to work on music. And then this next hour, I'm going to work out. And this next hour. So then he knows that like by the end of the month or whatever, like he can look back and see, okay, this is why I didn't achieve my goals. It's because I was going home and I was playing Fortnite for 6 hours, you know, or I was looking up internet conspiracy videos or
Guilty.
Whatever. Yeah.
Guilty.
Yeah. Same. And so that actually, that put me into a different mode of like, when I come home, you know, I go straight into my bedroom studio and I just sit down and I start making something, you know.
Nice. Yeah.
No matter what it is, you know, or I work on a mix down or something, and as long as I did a little chunk every single day, you know, it's like
consistency,
like anything, you know, you know, organize your time and just make sure you're practicing, like piano, golf, whatever, you know. Right. Then you'll notice you'll get better over time.
Yeah, even an hour a day.
Yeah, working out too.
Yeah,
I've been telling everybody, I've been telling everyone that and plugging Orange Theory. I started doing Orange Theory fitness, actually.
I'm not familiar.
It's like high intensive interval training.
Oh,
and
interesting.
I hated working out until I started doing this. And what it is you have to schedule 2 a week, or else you lose it. You know, use it or lose it.
Lose. Oh, you mean you pay for it?
You pay for
and
it.
If you don't go twice a week,
then they're like, you don't get it.
Wow.
You know, it doesn't roll over to the next month.
Oh, wow.
So you have to use 8 a month.
Whoa.
And so that sort of like organizational schedule structure sort of thing works for me.
Right.
Like I really like college because it was very, you know, it was structured and there's syllabi and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Orange Theory is great, and it's like little steps, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is it a place you go? Is it like
they
a
have
gym?
them all over. Yeah, it's a gym all over the country. They have them. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So so that makes sense. So then if you don't go, you're just throwing away money.
Right.
Essentially, right.
Basically. Yeah. But it's like an hour of like nonstop working out. So you'll start on the treadmill, and then you'll go to the rowing machine, and then you'll do the weights, and then you'll look like an idiot for a few minutes because there are always these new exercises that you're doing. They're always switching it up, but you kind of pick it up after a while, and it just becomes fun because they're like blasting electronic music at you and stuff. And yeah, it's super cool.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed with my gym right now.
Where are you going?
Oh, I go to this. It's City Sport. It's a San Francisco thing.
City Sport. I've never heard of that.
It's like it's a slightly nicer version of like 24-hour fitness.
Have you ever seen South Park?
Oh yeah.
Remember City Walk?
Yes, Shitty Walk.
Welcome to Shitty Walk. Welcome to Shitty Sport. Is it the same? Is it the same person who owns City Walk?
I mean, it's hilarious you say that because there's a lot of Asians that go there.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
You know, just pure coincidence.
That's
but
funny.
I might start calling it Shitty Walk.
Welcome to Shitty Sport.
Shitty Sport.
Just call it no accent needed. Just Shitty Sport.
Just Shitty Sport.
Because you don't even like the place.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to go to the I don't know. It's a little place called the YMCA.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I was a member there for a while. Man, didn't like it.
Yeah.
I went there only because of their swimming pool because I was a varsity swimmer back in high school, and just I don't know. I didn't vibe.
Right.
There's too many families.
Yeah. Well, I like this place. It's just always packed with people.
Yeah.
There's no time at other gyms. Like, oh, I'll go during this hour and it'll be slow and I'll be able to get on a bench press. Every single time.
That's shitty.
Every single thing. Yes. That's shitty.
That's not good.
Right.
Yeah. LA Fitness was the same way. And I was a member there for a year. And then I just realized, like, I remember talking to one of the guys and I was like, hey, you can they track when you go. And so I was like, hey, how many times have I been? He's like, dude, why are you even a member here? You've been here like 6 times in the last year. And I'm like, I don't know. And so that's one actually partially why I joined this Orange Theory thing, because I'm like, this is great. This is so fun. But yeah, I also surf.
Nice.
Surfing is fun.
This is the place to do it.
Yeah. When I moved out here in 2017, I had a few roommates who were big into surfing, and so I borrowed their board, and I went out and got barreled a few times, and now I can hang a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I give a lot of props to my roommate surfs and up in the Sunset in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
That is a different beast because it's San Francisco.
Yeah, it's a little different. Probably pretty tough surf. Huh?
Tough, yeah, and there's a lot of sharks, a lot of great whites.
Oh, you guys have great whites up there?
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Apparently, I mean, your chances of getting eaten or bit by a shark or whatever are still pretty low. Pretty low. But we have seen them. There's a video, if you go on YouTube and put in San Francisco shark, there's a video of right off the pier in Fisherman's Wharf. You just see this like red bubbling up from like blood red bubbling up from right off the pier, like you could drop a coin and hit it. And then you see this thrashing, and then you see this great white, and it's eating a seal.
What?
Right off the pier.
Dude, so Elon Musk has made seagulls in Fisherman's Wharf and great whites in Fisherman's Wharf. Spy sharks. Dude, they're so realistic. They're like eating the wildlife in San Francisco. That's nuts.
Probably sent a few to space too.
Yeah, that's like another South Park episode.
Space sharks.
Send the whale to the moon or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Space sharks, man. Yeah, that's the next
lasers,
big. With frickin' laser beams.
Right.
Yeah, that's the next big thing, man. Who knows? Yeah, that guy's crazy. He just put out an EDM song.
Right.
As I'm sure the whole world has seen.
I didn't even. I looked at that and I just kind of kept scrolling. You know what I mean? Like I was like, okay, whatever.
The only reason I clicked on play was because so many of my friends were posting about it, and I was like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm sick of seeing this. I'm just gonna listen to it, and then I can ignore it because like there's something in the back of my mind saying like, what if it's dope? or like, what if he's making synthwave, bro?
Right? Yeah.
Like that could be. This could be it. This could be what synthwave needs.
Right. He doesn't even know he's just making the hottest synthwave like the whole time. Right.
Yeah. But I listened to it and I was like, okay.
What did it sound like?
It was electronic music. I don't know. Yeah. What it sounded like, honestly, it was
generic house.
No, it almost sounded kind of like, when you started making music, and it was it just wasn't really all the way there.
It wasn't fully.
It wasn't
fleshed
fully.
out.
Yeah, it wasn't fully fleshed out.
Right.
It was sort of like just, I don't know. He like maybe tried to make progressive stuff, and it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's not like bad, because I don't really think any music is really necessarily bad. Just wasn't my taste.
Sure. Well, it's his first song.
Second song.
Yeah. Interesting. Did he put out the first one?
First one, yep, he did. I think he was like hip hop.
Whoa.
And then this one's more like progressive trance.
All right. Testing the waters still.
Yeah.
Like it, yeah.
But my question and some of the internet's question was like, where in the hell? When does he find the time to do this?
Between making spaceships and electronic supercars.
Yeah. Taking over the world. The Boring Company, drilling holes under the ground.
Through L.A.
Making a flamethrower company.
Right. Although that was just a project, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which it was really just a roofing flamethrower.
Oh, so it wasn't really that complicated.
No. It was a repackaged roofing flamethrower. So they heat up the tar with it, just shoot the flames, and they put the tiles down, and they just repackaged it and put some like You know,
Interesting.
cool, put into a cool gun thing.
So maybe he's really just not that busy. Maybe he just
That's what Tesla is. It's just a Ford Taurus that they threw some.
the Tesla. What was it called? The supercar or whatever. The
the
Cybercar.
Cybertruck. Yes.
Yeah, Cybertruck. That is super cool. And actually, there's a lot of people, comparing it to like, the low poly designs of N64.
Right.
And
or vaporwave or
vaporwave or whatever. Yeah. No, but he's going to be the president one day.
Yeah,
he will be. I mean,
so.
I'd vote for him. He's a genius. The guy is very smart.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the person, and very, very well mannered and like even tempered and just
Yeah, seems like a guy that I would have a beer with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, seeing him on like the Joe Rogan Experience, it's like great.
Just token up,
token up.
That's
right.
Elon.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Seems like a cool guy.
I love that he did that. And but he did it in a very tasteful way, where it was just like he just wanted to like throw a stick in the spokes real quick, like not kill anybody, not like do anything too crazy, but just like. He didn't inhale. He just, but just like.
But he broke the internet.
Just freaked out. He broke the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, I got to think that man has, whether he does it intentionally or not. I think he does a lot of these things that are very smart. Like breaking the internet is not an easy task.
Oh no.
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 Like Kim Kardashian has broken the internet maybe once.
She has.
Twice.
Shakira just broke the internet. It's the most recent internet break.
Oh, with her like tongue meme?
Yeah, the tongue thing. That is apparently like somebody told me it's like a Lebanese tradition, actually, like a cultural Lebanese thing. Oh. Yeah, I think Lebanese. I hope I'm getting that right. I don't know.
I thought she was a Latina the whole time, Brazilian.
I don't know. It might sound very insensitive right now, but but it's a different culture, and it was like a culture's thing that they do when they're happy or something. And but everyone's, but it's a little. If I have to be honest, it's a little funny,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's goofy because Americans are used to
seeing it out of context.
Oh yeah, out of context, and then like there was a guy who actually turned it into a trap beat. He like pitched it down and.
Wait, was there audio with it?
Yeah.
All I saw was just the GIF. A GIF
oh, dude, I'm gonna pull this up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull this up right now, and our listeners are gonna hear it. And if you haven't heard it, you will because thank you, Shakira. I could literally just look up Shakira tongue Super Bowl. Here it is. We're gonna put this into the mic, if we can.
Actually, I wouldn't, just because it might get flagged.
Oh, that's a good point. You can look it up on your own.
I know Joe Rogan, but I know that they have some wicked algorithms
with YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. We don't want this video flagged.
No, right. Yeah.
No, that's true. Delicious Lacroix.
Yes. Basically the same thing.
Gotta love this Lacroix water.
Yes.
Sponsored by Lacroix.
Lacroix broke San Francisco.
Really?
Yeah. It took over. It was like a thing. Everywhere you went, there was Lacroix.
Yeah.
There was like, every startup had it.
Interesting.
Every supermarket.
Yeah.
Bars even had it. They're like making, vodka sodas with it and stuff.
Vodka sodas. Yeah.
It was a thing. It was it felt like a very San Francisco thing.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't know it was this San Francisco thing. That's really.
I don't know.
Where are they from originally? Like
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Apparently, it's been around since the 80s.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yes.
It's funny because my grandma has been drinking it for forever, for as long as I can remember. So actually, maybe probably right.
As far as I know, like not much changed. Like even the branding, like all that stuff was just the same. They were just they were doing their thing. They made this flavored sparkling water and just going along at this steady clip, neither winning nor failing, just kind of, just making. And then one day,
the tortoise and the hare.
Yes, and then one day, somebody somehow realized it was the greatest thing ever, and their sales just shot through the roof.
So it happened to White Claw.
Yeah,
it's like
White Claw. I think was more. I think they saw the LaCroix bubble. No pun intended.
Yes. I will have a nice sip of LaCroix after that one. That's amazing.
And you should name an album.
What?
Called Bubble.
Just Bubble?
Or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, no, I was actually I was thinking about calling my my like crew, the Seltzer gang.
Nice.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm still exploring.
Seltzer Squad.
Seltzer Squad could work.
Squad.
Seltzer Squad is an Instagram channel that's it's very, very popular actually, and I was a little upset about it, but maybe, who knows?
Right.
But anyway,
So,
we're
alliteration.
Yeah.
I feel like they saw that happen, and then they're like, oh, well, we'll just add a little bit of liquor to it, and it'll be popular too. And they were absolutely right.
Yeah, and truly, actually, I was drinking that before White Claw.
Yeah.
And it's healthier, I think. I don't know.
I think they're the same.
I don't feel bloated after, like, I'll drink an IPA and I'll be like,
oh, no, yeah.
Oh, I hate myself. And then I'll drink a White Claw or a Truly. I'll be like, this is fine.
No, I feel fine after those. I mean, of course you'll get a hangover if you drink too many, but
right.
As far as like immediately after, much lighter.
Don't feel bloated.
You don't feel bloated.
No.
Right.
And then there's the Anheuser-Busch guys, InBev. They're jumping on the bandwagon now with the Natty Seltzer.
Yep.
And the Bud Light Seltzer.
I had the PBR one.
Oh.
The PBR one is very good.
Somebody told me about that. What flavors do they have? Like mango?
I had lime. It was just
lime
flavor, but it's stronger. I think it was like I want to say it was like 8 or 9%.
Okay.
And a bigger can, full size roundness, probably. What is that? 16 ounce.
I like PBR.
Yeah,
I like PBR.
It was good.
PBR is it's just a nice flavored beer. It's cheap.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like.
Doesn't taste bad.
Too bad. When it's cold, it's like okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's like, I guess the same thing with any sort of light beer for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Light beer has a very real purpose, and the people that talk shit or whatever because you drink Bud Light or whatever.
Yeah.
That beer is not for these like aficionados and no one's going to go Bud Light taste.
It's for
light
the common
American
man.
It's yes, that too, but it's also for like when you're floating the river on a hot day. You ever tried to drink a 6-pack of IPAs like on 100-degree day?
Yeah.
It's miserable.
I have. I've tried to drink one IPA on a hot summer day.
It's terrible.
No, it is. And actually, I don't know if I told you, but I'm actually originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
Right.
Which is the hometown of Anheuser-Busch. Right? And so, there's Budweiser everything, the Busch Stadium, Busch beer.
Right.
That sort of thing. And so, I did grow up drinking Bud. I mean, I didn't grow up drinking Bud Lights, but
baby formula.
Yeah, my mom's just like giving me a can of Bud Light with a meal. Yeah. All right, you're gonna learn one day. You might as well start drinking now. No. But my mother is a great woman. Would never do that.
Right.
But no, in general, it's just everyone drinks Anheuser-Busch products out there just because it's so popular. And I went on a brewery tour out there. It was really cool.
Nice.
But then like once I think it was like 22 or 23, so a couple years after I had my 21st birthday, I started discovering IPAs and the fancier beers. And I started realizing like, oh, you can drink these and enjoy them.
Yeah, right.
and have like a nice flavor. And also like feel good. This is great.
Yeah.
And so the IPAs and the stouts and any sort of ale, I started kind of getting into the craft breweries.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good craft breweries in St. Louis too.
Right.
A lot of good ones out here, San Francisco. And that was like a big industry now.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, the craft brewery market is massive. I mean, how many? I used to do this thing where I always wanted to try a new beer anywhere I went.
I do that.
Yeah, and for a while there, I was like, wow, like I've tried pretty much everything on tap here.
Yeah.
And then something happened where it was like anywhere I would go, I was like, oh, I haven't tried anything here now. Like something that was like a boom.
Well, it's like the local microbreweries. I feel like the barrier to entry got a lot smaller.
Yeah.
But also I noticed like the Anheuser-Busch's and stuff like that are definitely buying some of the more successful craft breweries. I think Shock Top was one of those.
Right.
And then they kind of spun it. And then additionally, like I kind of just like going to new cities and checking out the local, like if I'll go to a bar, I'll always order a local beer because I want to support the local craft breweries.
Right.
And B, I feel like I want to see if if all the locals like it, then there must be a reason that it's popular,
Right.
And then I can share that experience with other people. And actually, there's a great app for that,
Really?
and I think it's called Untapped, and I use that, and I have like a good list of beers that I've tried at different locations and stuff like that.
That's
you can
cool.
keep track of kind of where you're going. You should think about doing that if you drink craft
Absolutely.
beers, because
Yeah.
it's really fun.
Yeah.
And then you can look back like 3 years ago, well, yeah, when I was in Tampa Bay, like I had the local Tampa Bay beer. That was good, and that
That's
kind of
cool.
thing. Yeah.
And you could probably go through, I would imagine, and kind of check off all the ones you've already tried, right?
Yes. You
Yes.
can do that too.
Okay.
You can do that too. Yeah. And then you can look back and say, "Oh, I've had 1,000 different types of beers. This is why I'm so fat."
Right, yes, yeah.
Okay. Now it makes sense.
Right, yeah.
No, I definitely haven't drank that many, but it's like, yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We have a up in Berkeley. We have a Trumer Pilsner brewery, which is you've had Trumer, right? It's like
No.
the light green
I've never heard of it.
German beer. No,
No.
really, never heard.
German.
No?
I'm German
Oh.
too. I should probably
Interesting.
know about that.
Or Belgium? No, I think it's German. Yeah. So they have one brewery here.
How do you spell?
Trumer. Trumer.
Not a Truma.
Not a Truma. That's not a Truma.
I had to.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I got the reference immediately.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So it's Trumer.
Trumer, yeah, Trumer Pilsner, and the other one is in Germany.
Huh.
Which I found kind of fascinating.
That's
I mean, we drink it. It's a lot of our bars. Most of our bars.
Have it at Halcyon?
No, I don't think so. Not that I've, but I don't go to Halcyon. I'm there because I work all the time, so I'm not drinking. So I don't really know.
So you don't know what's on tap,
Right?
It might be.
Yeah. I do know we have KSA. We have a lot of KSA beers.
Okay.
You know KSA?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if there's I wonder if the average beers that are in San Francisco are different than the average beers you'd find at a bar in LA.
Probably. Also, since I'm from the Midwest and I was in the Midwest for 24 years of my life, I'm sure there's a lot of breweries out here in the West Coast that I just don't know about.
Okay, probably.
Yeah. And the distribution's probably different. Like they probably only distribute out in the West Coast.
Right.
Actually, the rules around distributing beer are so weird too.
Right.
Like every state has its own weird law about shipping alcohol to it and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's I wasn't aware you could order alcohol online. I thought for whatever reason that was outlawed.
Yeah,
but I think you can do it, right?
Sort of. It has to be an authorized seller, and you can. And if you're in the state of Mississippi, for example, you can't get alcohol shipped there at all. There's dry states still.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Yeah, it's really weird. And the only reason I learned about this,
you mean nobody in the state drinks, or
nobody?
You're
not. I think there must be some rule, but you're not allowed to ship alcohol to the state.
Okay.
There are some that you're allowed to ship to the state, but it has to be through an authorized seller. And then there's some that you can just ship to as a gift. And there's maybe 15 states that you can do that. You can ship a gift to your, whatever, to your stepmom. But you can't. Yeah, you can't. Technically,
people there can't buy it.
Yeah, it's a shipping thing, a FedEx, USPS thing. The only reason I found out about that was because do you ever watch Adult Swim?
I have.
So Dr. Steve Brule, you ever seen Dr. Steve Brule?
No.
Brule's Rules.
I think I've heard of it.
It's John C. Reilly, and anyway, so Tim and Eric created this character, John C. Reilly, Steve Brule, and they created a wine for him, right? So it's Tim and Eric from of Adult Swim. They own a winery called Las Jarras in San Francisco, and or north of it, I think probably Napa Valley or something. And they sell this character wine. It's Steve Brule, and it's John C. Reilly's face on the bottle. It's hilarious. So knowing me and buying weird collectible memorabilia, and buying things that are hot at the moment, like the Rick and Morty pocket operator and weird things like that. I buy Kickstarters every once in a while. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy this and maybe arbitrage. Maybe do a little wine arbitrage. It sounded like a great idea at the time. Let's do it.
Right.
So I bought 4 bottles of Steve Brule wine, $40 a pop, and literally it's sold out. The next week it was selling online for $120 a bottle.
Holy cow.
And I was like, great, 300% return. So then I started looking into the rules around selling alcohol online. It's not allowed. You can't do that. So I don't know how they were getting away with it, but I was like, crap.
Oh.
And then I started looking at the rules around shipping alcohol, and so I like read really deep into this, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna drink the wine. This is too complicated. This is stupid. It was good wine. I drank some good wine. Had some laughs. You know, it was dandy. But yeah, I learned all about the rules about that stuff. It's very tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like those online listings probably were short-lived.
Yeah, or they just snuck by the algorithm somehow.
Yeah.
You know, who knows?
Well, it's the same with like vapor stuff, you know. So if you try to sell like an e-cig or whatever, you know, eBay doesn't want anyone selling anything.
Oh, so same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So it'll be up there for, you know, an hour or 5 hours or something, and then it'll get taken down, you know.
Yeah. Someone flags it or whatever.
Yeah, right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So what's on your gear lust list?
Ooh, I like this question.
Yeah.
Gear lust list. Think about this. Like anything? Yeah. Anything ever.
Yeah.
Well,
let's have like realistic, and then like, you know, I mean, of course everyone would like a CMI Fairlight sampler or something. You know,
actually read my mind.
Yeah.
So I have the Arturia one, but that is actually, it's funny you said that. That is literally my favorite instrument.
Is it really?
Yeah, the Fairlight. Orc 5, man. Orc 5, baby, all day.
Nothing quite sounds like it, you know? It's just such a unique sampler.
Fairlight, no. So actually the one synth, though, that I do really want, and my old roommate has it, and I should have bought one when he told me that it was appreciating, and I'm an idiot, but it's the Juno 60. That's probably one of my favorite synths.
Really? Yeah.
It's beautiful. Sounds amazing. He kind of introduced me to that synth, and actually in real life, you know, I knew about it, but actually playing with it is a different story. You know, it just sounds so good. It's so lush, and I've always wanted to buy one and mod it out to make it a receive MIDI. I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
So
my buddy Sean Raya has one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it needs a new power supply.
Okay.
And then the key bed needs to be fixed.
That's an issue.
But it had MIDI installed on it when he got it, you know.
That would be sick. Any other 80s synths? I'm trying to think. The Roland synths were just great. I think it was a JX3P. I think, and then you can actually buy the programmable adapter to it as well.
Oh yeah.
It's to where you can actually like program the patches a lot easier. It's like one knob up.
A lot of people use the Behringer BCF 2000s. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
They'll use those, and they make templates that you can like vinyl templates you can stick on there, and they look really nice.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one that like you buy one of those. They need to start remaking those as well. I don't know. That's one that I don't know why they ever stopped making them, because they're just like it's like a Swiss Army knife of like MIDI.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe people didn't buy it enough. Like who knows?
But now people are buying them like, you know, secondhand, and you know, Behringer, they'll probably start making them again. But those are nice, and they're appropriately sized too. A lot of synths have like a little space in the upper right hand, you know what I mean? And or even just a laptop stand or something that make things a lot easier.
You know, I have so much I have so many VSTs that I don't use.
Yeah.
But one that I really want to get is the Behringer Poly D, which is a hilarious name because it's Poly D.
Yeah.
But also it's like a poly version of the Model D.
Right.
Yeah. And
you seen the memes with the spiky hair on the synthesizer and the gold chain?
No, is that really a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that there were memes about it.
Oh yeah.
I saw Poly D and I was like,
Poly D.
I was like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny. They got a sense of humor, and all their videos are just hilarious. Like Behringer's a cool brand, but you know, I think that that one's probably one that I would like. I definitely would like a legit Moog. I think maybe I was playing with this the Grandmother at Guitar Center the other day. Yeah, the Grandmother sounds so good, dude.
I've heard that's one of the best Moogs you can buy.
It's paraphonic.
Yeah.
So it's like a little confusing. I don't know how to explain it. I'd probably completely mess it up, but it's like a paraphonic synth. I think that's what they call it. Oh, hello. We're just doing a little podcast here. That was our lovely janitor.
Nice
guy. I don't know why he's here so late.
Yeah. Well, he's probably wondering the same thing about us.
Maybe he's hosting a podcast
Yes,
outside.
right. Yeah, we're encroaching on his time.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We are. Nice guy. Nice guy. Pauly D.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
The
Moog, grandmother.
Paraphonic.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Moog, grandmother.
Right.
That thing's sick. I actually saw them building. So they released it at Moog Fest last year.
Ah.
And I was at Moog Fest, and we were doing I was there for the product launch of our Tries Squid sequencer, and I did some demos that weekend, and they were like literally building the frame of the grandmother like in the modular marketplace room. So they had like people in like suits. They had like a whole activation, like probably twice the size of this room. And they were literally just putting together the synth.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's
and
so
like
cool.
putting it up to dry and stuff. It was so cool.
Wow. I
So
love
cool.
shit like that.
And like you could buy them. You could be like, yeah, I want that one. And you're like, okay.
Like freshly baked donuts.
Yeah.
Right? You just buy a freshly made synth.
Yep.
Still smells like whatever they make synths with.
Yeah. Sugar and love.
Love, yes, right.
And there was there's a special class, Moog Fest always does this. There's a special class that you could do to make a Moog vocoder. I think it was like a vocoder too, and it was really cool. And so some people got to go in there and make their own like vocoder synth.
Yeah,
it's really sick.
That's amazing. I mean, obviously the Moog 1. That's like their their flagship.
I played with that thing. It was super
really
cool. It was beautiful.
Oh, I mean that one. I mean, but what does it go for? Like it was like $3,000 or $4,000, $5,000.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot.
a lot of money.
Yeah, also massive, like a big synth.
Yeah, and I don't see that's another reason why I don't have a lot of hardware is that's one of the reasons I have not a lot of space in my room,
right?
And so
Me too.
I have to be smart about my space, and so what I'll probably end up doing is buying more rack mount because my desk is very equipped for rack mount. Actually, so one of my pieces of gear. This is actually such a dumb story, but I wanted the sound of the DX7, so me and my old roommate Dev, we bought online on Reverb a TX81Z rack mount, which is basically the DX7 rack mounted version.
Nice.
It was like $200. It was super cheap, and so it had a lot of the sounds, and it had the lately bass preset, which everyone wanted for the '90s music. And I was like, yeah, let's make some sick 90s music. And so then, that was a synth that I had always wanted. And it, it was like in the mail, shipping, on its way. And then all of a sudden, gone. It's like, where did this thing go?
What the fuck?
So it just never showed up to our house.
Oh, no.
And so we called Reverb and they're like, I don't know. And we called the seller. He's like, I don't know. And so we're like, what? And so we're asking like Reverb for the money back, and they're like, no.
Oh my God, what?
Like, what? And so it was like this whole weird like, and Dev was just like, all right, screw it. You know what? We're just gonna drop it.
Right.
We're dropping it.
Did you guys get your money back at least? Or?
Well, here's the funny part.
Yeah.
So over NAMM weekend, he was over at NAMM in Anaheim, and he was talking to me. And he goes, dude, you'd never believe it. 1 year later, guess what showed up at my doorstep? The TX81Z.
What?
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Like it fell off a belt or something into like some weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like it went into like the abyss, or like some black hole and some alternate dimension, the upside down, if you will.
Right,
and then somebody brought it to his doorstep.
Wow. Yeah. I remember there was a Reddit post where someone had, I want to say it was a book. I think it was a book. They bought a book online. And it came to their house like 10 years later.
Yeah? What?
Yeah. Like literally 10 years.
What?
It was postmarked 10 years. And it shows up. And nobody gives any sort of explanation. The postal person's just like,
Oh, they don't care.
Here you go.
Here's your book.
Right.
Where did this come from? I don't know.
Yeah, right. The postal system is both amazing and confusing.
That actually
insanely confusing.
That actually happened to me as well. Not only the TX81Z disaster, but my mom was sending me a care package. So I moved out to LA in June of late May of 2017, right? And so almost 3 years ago. So this was probably about 6 to 8 months after I moved out here. I was like, crap, I need to license my car. you know, because it's a Missouri license plate. And I'm like, Mom, can you send me my car title and all my like items and, you know, fun paperwork and stuff? Sure, for sure. So she sends me a care package, and it gets lost in the mail. So my car title, all of my like social security number documents and stuff are just like gone. Who knows where they are? Some UPS or USPS worker is probably just like, you know, I'm
Roy Lacroix.
I'm Roy Lacroix now. I'm gonna go drive his car. And so, you know, I was like, oh, this is really a bummer. And then I guess like 2 months later, so we put in a report and everything like that. 2 months later, it shows up at my house, and I opened it up, and it's the weirdest thing in the world, man. It was like all of the papers were there, but it's like somebody opened it up and switched a bunch of stuff out. So there was like a bunch of like how to make sushi books and like some other guy's gym bag. And like and a photo, like 2 family photos of a nice looking Asian family, and I'm like, what in the hell? Like, it was the weirdest thing in the world. God. And then there was my title, and there was my social security number documents and stuff, and like,
like maybe a bunch of packages got torn open by accident. By
that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe they fell off the truck or something.
They like scooped it all back togetder and they put it in. They're like, oh, that's the best I could do.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I just love the how to make sushi book. I was like, Mom, did you send me this on purpose, like as a joke? She's like, no. I'm like, I don't know this family.
Right.
Who are they?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds like a handy book to have.
Yeah. I didn't make sushi with that book. But,
right.
You know, I have made sushi before.
Yes, that's very satisfying.
It's challenging.
It is hard.
It's fun though.
I used the wrong rice one time.
Yeah. It's just fall apart.
It was there's sticky rice. There's the appropriate sticky rice for sushi.
Yes.
And then there's like sweet sticky rice.
Yes.
And the sweet sticky rice is like insanely sticky.
Yeah.
And it will stick to, and you could throw it at the wall, it would stick to the wall.
Yeah, you gotta rub your hands in water.
Yeah.
Right,
I used that stuff.
Yeah.
So it didn't really, and it has a different taste. It just, the consistency, the taste just wasn't quite there.
Not the same.
Yeah. It was like Cal Rose rice, or maybe Cal Rose is the one you're supposed to use. I don't remember. I'd have to look at it, but
yeah, I remember it being like a really frustrating process, and the most frustrating thing was making the rice actually.
Yeah. I've got that part down pat now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you got to use rice vinegar.
Rice vinegar. Yeah. And then like the actual rolling of it too.
Right.
Like it looked so easy until you do it yourself.
You see the sushi chefs do it, and they're just like. Like, oh.
And my first sushi, my first sushi roll was like,
it sounded like Elon Musk's first track.
Yeah, and it also looked like a Cybertruck.
Yeah, right,
it was like, you know, really, really crap. So I just grabbed it and just threw it at my car. Right, dented the window.
Broke the Cybertruck window.
Yeah, broke the Cybertruck. Yeah, right. My Cybertruck sushi, cyber sushi. Yeah.
We've come full circle.
Yeah. No, dude. We have come full circle.
Right.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So how long are you in town for?
Well, I'm gonna extend. I think I'm gonna book one more night.
Okay.
Because I have my friend Lex Empress. She goes by Aaliyah K now. She was on the podcast when she was in San Francisco a couple weeks before Burning Man.
Cool.
So she's down here now, and also I have another friend that I've been working on music with. She's a vocalist down here. So yeah, 2 vocalists I'm gonna hang out with tomorrow and just talk about music, and yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I always need good quality vocalists.
They're hard to find.
That is my biggest thing I'm trying to work on this year. Yes, clearly. Share one or two.
Right. Yes,
you know. I'm looking for some really good some really good soul vocalists. You know, to help out with like some disco tech house stuff, I think is really kind of what I'm thinking is the next step.
My buddy Caleb Hudson, who's also down here now. I was hanging out with him last night. Mm-hmm. He's been on the podcast. He is working with a couple of good soul vocalists as well, so maybe I can put you guys in contact.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Yeah. You know, I'm sure a lot a lot of vocalists have like acapellas that they've probably not done anything with or something,
Right.
or like a lot of like stuff that they've written, and just getting inspired by an acapella and putting a track together around an acapella is something
Yes.
that I enjoy doing. So
Right.
yeah, I think that a lot of times like you'll write a track and you'll be like, it's cool, but it's just not finished, and the vocal's always been the missing part for me.
Right. Right.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah. I think if someone were to set up a website that was just a cappella songs compiled, not
Yes.
not famous songs, but like vocalists that just recorded these songs or
Yeah.
vocals from, and just put them up there
Like
and
splice
sold
for
them.
vocals.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing else. They'd probably make a killing. You know?
Dude,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Right.
That's a really good idea, because Splice does have like vocal samples. But you have to dig through them all.
Yeah.
And you have to dig through everything. There's so many samples, and I love Splice.
Right.
But I want more vocal stuff. You
Right.
know, that would be a really cool idea. Maybe there
Yeah.
is something like that, and we
I
just don't
hope
know
so.
about it.
I hope so. If anyone's watching, put it in the comments because I want to know.
Help you boys out.
Help you boys.
We need them vocals.
Because even if you're just like chopping something up, like my future bass stuff,
Yeah.
Friends with Benefits, it really like
Yeah.
a lot of it has really esoteric, trippy, pitched down and retuned vocals.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
cool.
And that's just the vibe of the stuff. But the vocal itself doesn't have to be amazing.
Yeah.
I just need the timing and I need the words to be said.
We need the flow
The
too.
flow. It could be a terrible
Yeah.
singer, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and I actually so I actually just recorded. Well, I've sang over a few songs, like my Mirrors song and my San Junipero song for my Driver project.
That
But-
one's great.
Yeah, thank you.
yeah.
But when it comes to like the tech house stuff, I've recorded my voice a few times, and I just recently kind of figured out the kind of the right way to do it, which is kind of messing with the formants a little bit to make your voice sound a little different.
Right.
And that is super cool because I don't like the sound of my own voice in a song, because like when I'm dancing to my own track to try to see if it's a good vibe, my voice will come in, I'll be like, oh, that sucks. Oh no, I need to have somebody else re-record this.
Right,
This
right,
is not
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So sometimes I'll write the lyrics and I'll be like, hey,
Yeah, right,
you
right.
wanna record over this?
But if you affect your voice enough and it doesn't necessarily sound like you anymore,
Yeah.
or whatever, like
Do you know any like really good vocal plugins for that? Like for like messing with your voice, like effect wise?
yes,
Yeah?
Manipulator, I think it's called.
Oh, dude, you're the second person to tell me that actually.
Manipulator is killer.
Yeah.
There's some other ones that I have. I have a folder. I put all my VSTs into categorized folders. I'm very organized with it.
That's smart.
So yeah, I have some other tricks too as far as categorization. My buddy Sean Raya pointed out that you can organize stuff in the actual folders, which I do, right? So I have a folder that's all my VST compressors,
Yeah.
and all my EQs, and I put all my mastering stuff into one folder.
Into the user library?
No, I go full
Color code.
I mean, I use the collections as well, but I install my VSTs into specific the whole program, the whole program and the VST.
Just show me how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah. So everything is a Cush compressor or whatever. All of it's in the compressor folder, right? And it just helps it keep it ultimately organized for me.
Yeah.
But apparently Ableton will recognize shortcuts of VSTs.
Okay.
So you could make another folder that within your VST folder that is a different collection of shortcuts. So you could get really creative, right? Maybe all your stuff is organized by brand.
Yeah.
But then you want to make one that's organized by function.
My folders are not organized.
No.
They're terrible. And they are organized mostly by brand, but then you have like brand, everything else.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it is it complicated? Do you just go into your library, audio, plugins, and then you have to organize from there into your VST, and then VST and then your folders, or like, is there a better way?
What I would do if I were you, whenever you start completely fresh again.
Oh, because of the
Yes,
okay.
because the installs are leading to places that wherever they were, if you just start dragging files around, it's going to be mayhem.
It's going to be like cannot find.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
So whenever you start, because I did this, I was like that. And then at one point I had to start completely fresh. I started completely over.
Next computer.
So next computer, do that. Install the whole install process to a specific folder and where you want it, right? But for you now, what I would say is make those categorized by usage of amp, simulation, EQ, compressor, saturator, distortion, all of it, right?
That's a cool idea.
Vocal processing, mastering, and then make shortcuts of every single plugin you want. It might take a couple hours or like an afternoon or something.
Yeah.
But Ableton will recognize those, and then so you can use that as your go-to.
That's interesting. Shortcuts, huh?
Yeah. And then you still use the collections in Ableton. I still have a synths, all my synthesizers.
I do too. I have the synths collection.
Yeah.
But can you put a folder within a collection?
I don't know about that. I have to look that up.
Because like you have your collection, and your synths collection is red, whatever,
Right.
And then you have all of the synths in there. But I want to be able to like put those synths into a folder within the collection.
For what?
So like if I were to have all my synths into like I could have compressor, EQ, amp, and so like you just hit the red button.
Yeah.
And then you can drag it in there.
Right.
That's what I would want to do.
Well, you can organize your shortcuts folder that you're going to do into whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
And then use the collections for whatever you want.
Oh, so there'll be two separate things then.
They're two separate things.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. One will show up in the bottom left side of things.
That's right.
User files and that sort of thing.
That's right.
And then the collections will always be whatever they are.
I'm kind of curious to see your tree structure. Then.
Yeah.
Because that's something that really not a lot of people talk about. Is organizing your DJ library or organizing your synthesizer, VST library, third-party plugin library, whatever. It's so important because you get in the flow, and then before you know it, you're out of the flow because you've been looking for whatever a preset on your EQ plugin for 6 hours.
Right.
And and actually, when I do these beat retreats, which I was telling you about at Sushi, and actually I'll talk about that for a second too.
Sure.
The beat retreat, basically for those of you who don't know what a beat cipher is basically my buddy James Ellington and Radioactive, my homie Devin, they put together this sort of style of music production, right, and music creation and like group creation, where you have an hour or 2 hours to create a specific kind of music or what have you. So it's like, all right, you've got an hour to create this, let's go. And so you're creating a music based off of restrictions. You have to use this sample pack, or you have to use this synthesizer, or you have to make this genre or whatever. And it's super fun, but it can be really frustrating if you're not organized. So if your sample library is a mess, and if your VSTs are a mess, and you're sort of doing these little beat cipher competitions,
where speed matters,
you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah. Right.
Speed. What do you call it? Speed,
just efficiency.
Oh yeah,
time.
Yeah. These speed ciphers or whatever. Yeah. It gets to be a little frustrating. So, but they're really fun. They're really fun to do, and they teach you a lot about music production.
Yeah.
They teach you a lot about yourself, and what you get hung up on is the most important thing. And I noticed a lot of times, when I started doing it, I would get hung up on the synthesis side. It'd take too long creating sound,
right.
or finding a preset and tweaking it.
Right.
So I realized, maybe that's something I need to work on. And then you get better at it.
It's a good way to highlight your inefficiencies.
Absolutely.
Right. It sounds like against the clock.
Yeah.
To a certain degree.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Man, I would love to do one of those. Can you let me know when the next one is?
This weekend.
This weekend. Shit.
It's in Joshua Tree.
Oh shit.
They're all going to Joshua Tree.
Maybe not this one, but the next one.
Definitely.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
They try to do them every Friday for the most part. It's a little group, the LA Beat Collective,
Nice.
or the LA Beat Cult, LABC.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of guys in the music industry. Some of them work at tech companies, like Native Instruments or Fender.
Yeah.
And just kind of get together and make beats.
Nice.
It's super fun, super good group of dudes and gals. And it's cool. So yeah, next time you're in town on like a Friday, or we usually do the Joshua Tree trip like once a quarter.
Nice.
You should definitely come out for that.
That sounds good. Yeah, once a quarter.
Seriously, let me know because there's always space. It's a big house. Usually we'll have like 14 people or so.
Sick. And that I'll have my SP 2400 then.
Oh, dude, bring it.
I'll bring that.
Definitely
and then
bring it.
My 11-year-old laptop. It'll be a great contrast.
Yeah, there's a guy who works at what does he work on? Sounds.com. And he works on the kind of the back end side of it. And he always brings like a ton of like guitar pedals and distortion pedals, and we'll like scream into them and like make really weird sounds with them and stuff and sample that in.
I love that.
And so I made a track with my friends Kevin and Brooke, using those like distorted sounds into like a Gesaffelstein-y mid-tempo sort of track.
Sick.
And so it's like that sort of stuff that I would have never came up with sitting in my bedroom with my neon lights on.
Right.
That's
what those retreats are best for.
Yeah.
I mean, and I love that it's a retreat too for making music and like exploring, right? Because it's so easy for so many of us to just sit around. That's why I like the headroom thing so much, because we're just so used to sitting in our little zone that we have perfectly set up, and it's fun. It's great.
Yeah.
That's where I like to spend a lot. But also, I mean, I want to collaborate with people, and that's,
you should.
Yes, I know.
I think everyone should.
Yes.
Always be collaborating. ABC.
Yeah, right.
I just made that up.
Yes. That's good.
I just made that up. That's great.
I just made that up.
That's great. And I think collaborating is a really great useful tool too. If you ever feel like you're like plateauing or whatever, find someone who's, in your same, friend group or whatever, who's making similar type of music.
Right.
Just hit them up and say like, collab, bro. And
collab, bro.
It's great. You'll learn something from each other. And no matter what skill level you are, you can always learn something from somebody else.
Right.
I'm sure that if I hadn't collabed, I wouldn't have learned a bunch of useful skills that have got me to now releasing records.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's crucial. I have an idea that I've been floating around for a while, and I don't know when I'll accomplish it. And I've said it on the podcast before. If somebody wants to do it now so I can use it, they're more than willing to.
What's that?
More than free to. I just want like a very simple collaboration website, right? Like imagine a Dropbox that, you can do this with Dropbox, right? You have a folder and you have these ideas. Maybe you have a vocal, maybe you have these drum sounds, drum loops, just parts of songs, whatever. You just throw stuff in. It doesn't have to be all that organized or anything. You can if you want, but whatever. And then you just have this link that's your link, and you just send it to people. So you want to collab? Great. Here's a link.
We could just call it Collabro.
You Collabro, exactly. Yes, yes. I think that's what it should be called. Yeah,
dude. Okay, so
and that's all it is.
There's
it's just
two ideas
It's
right
file
there.
hosting.
Yeah.
With I mean, I almost want it to just be black screen with green lettering. You know what I mean? With a little preview of each file.
It's super cool. It almost doesn't even have to be like file hosting. You could almost do just like streaming. Like sort by genre, and you can go through a bunch of tracks, and like they're just like little 15-second snippets of a song, and you listen to it. I like that, and you can just say, like send message, bloop, like Collabro, button,
Collabro,
Collabro, and then you get a Collabro message. Roy Lacroix wants to collab.
Right?
Do you want to collab? And then you can check out his profile or whatever, SoundCloud, Instagram, whatever.
Maybe we'll call it Cloud Bro.
Cloud Bro. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, right.
Cloud Bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. That kind of sounds like a vape company.
It
now,
does.
I think about it.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna have to start wearing a flat bill hat.
Oh no!
I already drive a Subaru.
I already wear a flat bill hat. Actually.
Yeah, shit.
Oh, we're screwed. I don't vape though. Yeah, dude, that's a great idea, actually.
Yeah, right.
Shit, we should patent that like quick.
It's too late. It's public now. I've already said it once on the podcast.
Yeah.
At least.
Oh, you have said it already?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's a really cool idea though. I wonder if there's something out there. Do you remember the website upsound.com? I don't know if they're still around, but no, they're not.
Sounds familiar.
Upsound is really cool. It was basically a way that you could like go out and find instructors. And you could pay like, I think like Bro Safari or something, like, or Brills, I think. One of those guys, one of those like trap guys was on it. And there's like a bunch of artists that were on it that you could go online and you could pay them, like $50 an hour or something for them to actually like listen to your track and give you like legit feedback or like teach you a specific thing, or you could get a lesson from one of those guys, $100 an hour and they'll teach you Serum, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like these legit artists and people who are still up and coming who are who would be giving like education services. So I think that whole sort of like software as a service, like sort of peer-to-peer sort of thing is very popular for startups. I feel like that would be something that could work in music if we were solving a problem.
Right.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I love that vocal splice thing that we were talking about.
Yes.
That is a really cool idea.
Yeah. Just vocals.
Just vocals.
Just vocals, yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Right.
That's all.
Justvocals.com.
Justvocals.
Farmers only.
Justvocalists.com.
Right, yeah, just vocalists.
So we could have a dating website.
Yeah.
And we
right.
could have the
shit.
the building is collapsing. Crap. Justvocalists.com. It's probably already a dating website.
Right.
Who knows?
Right. When two vocalists want to date and just out sing each other in the shower.
Yeah, man. The vocalists attract vocalists.
Yes,
that's
right,
for sure. Out sing each other in the shower. Like that scene from Elf.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's great, man. That's great.
Oh, so good.
Have you ever been to farmersonly.com?
No.
I haven't either.
No, it's one.
I'm curious though.
Yeah, I know. It's.
I wonder if do you have to be a farmer, really, though?
I mean, farmer curious.
Farmer curious. I'm a little farmer curious right now, man. I think that maybe
there's some hot farmer chicks.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some hot farmer dudes.
For the
yeah. It's I mean, you're around all that hay and animals and it's sweaty. I mean, you got a good tan.
Their tagline should be "Hay isn't just for horses."
Right.
Yeah. Because it's like hey, like, hey.
Every message starts with hey.
H-A-Y.
Right. That's what we just got at Halcyon, our hay straws.
For what?
Yeah, for drinks.
Hay straws.
It's the most ingenious idea ever.
What?
So this guy.
So they don't melt like the paper straws.
No, they don't. It's literally just these perfectly grown and curated and cut pieces of hay, and they're dried.
Oh shit.
And they're like they look like brown rice with color.
Huh.
And it's a perfect straw. And
what?
They're completely biodegradable because
That's so cool.
It's just hay.
Does it taste like hay?
It doesn't taste like anything.
Okay, so
it doesn't melt.
But it is hay?
It is
or is
hay.
it like
it's
special hay?
It's not even processed hay. It's just grown and then they cut the ends off like little mini bamboo sticks or something.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy that was the founder of that product, that company, physically came and like dropped the stuff off, and I was like, dude, this is incredible. Like,
so just an individual little hay, like individually packaged hay?
No, just like a box. It looks like a box of black straws.
Okay,
but it's just pieces of hay.
That's
that
sick.
Are cut. Yeah,
that's so cool. Yeah. So hay is actually not yellow.
Is it black? No. Well,
they dye it.
No, they don't dye it. It's kind of that's why I said it looked kind of like brown rice, the color. So it's like it probably was yellow or something, but it's kind of a little bit darker now that it's dried. And yeah.
I kind of want to try this.
They're great.
What's the company called?
Hay Straws.
Hay straws? Really?
Yeah, I think
just
so.
hay straws.
I think it's just hay straws.
Simple.
Yeah,
love it.
I'm friends with them on Instagram, so I'll find it and send it your way.
Yeah. Or we could just plug the people in the comments that we've been talking about.
Yes, yeah. I hope it's hay straws. I think it was that stupid simple that I was like.
He's probably like on your Facebook Live right now, like, dude, come on, it's not hay straws.
It's not hay straws.
You know this. Told you this 12 times.
Right, yeah.
That's great.
But I mean, talk about genius, like moment products. Like it just was so good.
Yeah, dude, I want to invent a product like that. Just like who knew? You know,
Right.
He knew. Yeah.
Vocalsonly.com.
Vocalsonly.com.
Yeah.
Well, there is a website like this. It's called, and it might be illegal, so I don't know. But it's Acapellas for All.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. You put up DIY acapellas.
It's a gray area.
It's a gray area. It's weird because it's not like homemade, like your vocals, my vocals. You know, it's like vocals that should not be on this website.
Right.
Are on this website.
Maybe it's Rihanna songs.
Yeah, Rihanna songs.
Beyonce and
pop
Michael
songs.
Jackson, right.
All that stuff. And Vocals Only wouldn't have that stuff. It would be all just organic stuff, you know, organic vocals.
No covers even.
No covers. No.
It should be all just original.
Yeah.
You know, because like
maybe this could be part of Collab Bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
You put up your vocals too.
Right, the sister site.
Yeah, the sister site too.
Yeah. Collab Sis.
Collab Sis. And then we're gonna get a bunch of sexist issues there. Like, well, wait a minute, why can't I use Collab Bro? Why can't I use Collab Sis? Collab Sis. Oh no.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But see, I just really think it would be great. You being able to go there, you just find something close enough to what you think you can work on, or maybe you find something that is so good that you're like super inspired by it. And you know, I would imagine you probably have to pay for the download, the high quality, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe maybe there's an exclusive, like maybe some of them are so good that you have to pay a premium.
That'd be cool.
And only one person can use them.
Yeah.
You pay like $100.
There's a website like that.
Or like $200. Is there?
Well, not like only one person, but yeah, like it would be you get all the rights. You know, I think in Vado or one of those like graphic design companies, like you can buy
like Premium Beat,
premium font or something, premium graphic for like $300.
Right. Well, I know there's premiumbeat.com. There's also Audio Jungle.
Yeah, Premium Beat. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But then maybe there was others where anyone could download it for a simple fee of $5. Right?
That'd be sick.
I would buy so many of those just to be able to chop up and use, you know. Because they have like There's freesound.org, which is fantastic. I love that website. It's so good.
I need to check that out.
Yeah, you definitely.
I probably already have.
I use it all the time.
Probably been on it.
But you know, the quality is just questionable. It's like it's always some weird, like it's just really weird. A lot of the stuff, or it's poorly recorded, or they put a bunch of like delay and effects on it because they like the way that it sounds in their voice. But
bass
then you're
boosted.
Like, yeah, but then you're like, this is useless for what I need it for.
Harry Potter, bass boosted.
Who is out there boosting the bass on these things?
I don't know, dude.
For what?
And then they have like those videos, have you seen on YouTube? They have like millions of views.
Right.
Dude, we should just start a YouTube account that's just bass booted like Frozen songs or something.
Bass boosted, yeah.
Or like bass boosted like I don't know.
It's everything.
Everything
you could listen to. You know what it would be? It would just be like a portal to the internet, like a search engine.
Yeah.
But there would be an EQ on the master of the sound that goes through it, and it would just have the bass boosted.
So it would be like Sound Tower, or no, not Sound Tower. It would be like what's the one? Soundflower.
Soundflower. Yes.
So where the audio runs back in,
right,
and you can sample the audio.
Yeah.
But then it just has an EQ on the bass and a distortion.
Yes.
So
it's like the sausage fattener. It just feeds everything.
Yeah.
Everything through your audio system.
Yeah.
Through a sausage
and bass
fattener.
boosts it,
yes, right.
and goes back in to like Windows
OTT.
Media Player. Yeah, into OTT. Yeah. That's great too. Damn, what a great idea.
We got a lot of good ideas here.
So many.
Yeah.
We started like 5 businesses tonight.
Right.
We just gotta
clearly future millionaires. We just need to follow through.
Hope so.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
cloudbro.com.
Well, we had CloudBro.
No,
that was collabbro.com.
Yeah.
Collabsys.com.
Yep.
And then what would collabdad.com be?
Collabdad.
Collabdad. Doesn't it have a nice ring to it?
It does.
Collabdad. It'd be like dads who want to like barbecue together.
Yeah. Right,
just be a little different.
Yes. Maybe it would be like a DIY like projects website and bad jokes.
Yeah, like
Right.
a dad who wants to make a model airplane with another dad.
Yeah.
He needs like another dad friend.
Right.
Collab dad.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with music.
Dadsonly.com.
Dadsonly.com. Well, that might be something completely different.
Good. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Dads only. Honey, why have you been on dadsonly.com? What's
Right,
going
yeah.
on here?
What is this questionable?
It's fine. We're just going fishing together.
Right, yeah.
It's fine.
For 12 hours?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fine.
sure, yeah.
Caught a bunch of fish.
Right.
Oh,
I don't know. We'll have
great.
to think about that one. I
We'll have to.
don't know what's on.
It's on.
I don't know what's on. Yeah, Collab Dad.
We're on. We're on to sound so good though. Right. We're on to something.
Yes.
We're on to something.
Yeah.
Maybe dads who want to give each other mustache advice or something.
Sure.
You know, like
yeah, that's
that kind of thing. You know.
Right.
Anything.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
Yeah. An advice website.
An advice website, like a dad advice website.
Right. I think we're really
fashion.
We're getting really far into the weeds here.
Dude, we're so deep. Yeah. How are we getting back? What time is it?
Right. Yeah.
It's already midnight.
Is it really? Holy shit.
It's the latest I've been.
Oh my god.
I've been at this office, but this is great.
2 hours and 11 minutes.
That's a good amount of time.
It is.
That is a good amount of time.
Well, should we wrap this one up? Or
I have several unread messages.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
All right.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I kind of need to pee.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I do too.
All that Lacroix.
So much Lacroix.
Yeah.
delicious flavored water.
Does anyone ever call you Roy Lacroix?
Some people do.
Really?
Actually, the French record label that I work with, the Broderscab, they thought it was Roy Lacroix.
Wow.
They were like, "Hey, Roy Lacroix," and I'm like, "No, it's Lacroix," and they're like, "Why?"
But why?
That's not how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I get Roy Lacroix sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And I was thinking about actually like making that into a meme.
Oh yeah.
Like just me wearing Crocs.
Yes.
Or like some sort of like Croc meme.
Just some classic Crocs that say Roy on them.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Right.
Roy Lacroix.
Right.
Yeah. I need more like merch. I need merch. That's something that I think is a big step in 2020. Is like I'd like to get some cool things, and maybe they're dad hats. Maybe they're I don't know. Who knows? Crocs.
T-shirts, Crocs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the Crocs is a great idea.
Yeah, the Crocs.
I'm
is
sure
a good idea.
that someone somewhere sells off-brand Crocs
Right.
that I could buy.
Yeah.
And like get embroidered or something like that.
Yeah.
Funny.
Screen printed.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Genius.
There's got to be an off-brand Croc website.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure,
Dude. Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been a blast.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Love the podcast.
We got some great.
Glad. Thank you for inviting me on it.
Of course. Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me here at the Pioneer DJ Studios.
Pioneer DJ Studios.
I know it's already getting kind of late.
Actually, this
but-
is technically the Pioneer DJ Green Room.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the Green Room. Mm-hmm.
Why do they call it the green room? Oh, yeah. All right, makes sense.
The Green Wall.
Yeah, green wall, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so here we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for coming out.
Totally, man. I definitely want to hear some of your tracks on the system before we go.
Oh, let's do it. Yeah.
Just I know it's past midnight.
That's
but,
fine. I'll
we'll be
plug in and
quick.
we'll play them.
Yeah,
Here.
nice, cool. Well, yeah, thank you again. And you got anything you want to plug in your SoundCloud or?
Yeah. Well, so you can follow me for all my tech house and bass house stuff at Roy Lacroix Music. That's RoyLacroix Music. That'll be on Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, whatever. It's everything is blah 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 / Roy Lacroix Music.
Yeah.
That's all simple. And then my 80s project that is Driver405. So DRIVER, number 4, number 0, number 5, on all sorts of social platforms. I think that's it. Shout out Pioneer DJ, obviously.
Yeah.
Shout out Halcyon. Shout out Scott Brio.
Yeah.
And all his many projects.
Yes. And thanks to you for the Pioneer DJ for the headphones again.
The wonderful HRM 6s.
Wonderful and comfortable.
The Pioneer DJ.
Yeah.
And go buy a V10.
Yeah.
They're new and they're pretty.
They're beast.
And they're beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Good mixer.
Yeah, it's a great mixer.
Right.
Very clean.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds warm.
Yeah.
It sounds very warm.
Yeah.
But no, I mean honestly, nothing else really kind of going on right now. Just stay tuned for new music, new mixes, and hey, maybe some new shows on the horizon. And if you're looking to bring out any more tech house DJs,
right?
give me a holler.
Yeah. Sweet.
Cool.
Well, I'm Scott Brio, and this is the Voice of Electronic Music, episode number 51 with Roy Lacroix. And if you want to check out any of our previous episodes, we're on pretty much every major streaming platform, so SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, all that. And I've started a Patreon, so I'm hoping that if you like what we're doing here, you can help support, travel and stuff like that. It gets a little costly, and I have a goal of reaching out to people all over the world, and that is even more ambitious, right? So, if you want to check us out, we're on patreon.com/Scott Brio, and become a patron at whatever tier you can afford, and it'll be greatly appreciated. So, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Join us Patreon.
Yes. Peace out, guys. See ya.